What up? What's going on, Travis? Thanks for coming to hang out, sir. And we have Gussie P saying Happy Labor Day. Yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun weekend, sort of. I mean, this weekend there is no karate, which is not great, and there is no karate up to Saturday, and there's none on Monday, and there's also no work on Monday. So what are you gonna do with all that free time? So let me show you guys something that I've been dealing with. You guys that have been following me on the YouTube stories have been saying, hey, when are we gonna get another update of the lawn to see how it's recovering from top dressing? It's been a month. What's the story? So here we are now a month later after top dressing. This video was taken yesterday. So you can see it's recovering pretty nicely. It's still not 100% yet, still not 100%, but the stripe action is returning. It is returning and confidence is high that we're gonna be in good shape before this season closes out. So that's awesome. And then as well, in addition to that, I've been getting a lot of questions around Virginia buttonweed. For some reason, a lot of you guys are dealing with that this time of year, or only now deciding you want to take care of it. So we're also doing, I found some like near in my, not Alex's lawn, but the neighbor next door that's kind of trying to encroach into my lawn. So we are going to go after some Virginia buttonweed. I'm going to let you guys see where we currently are now on that. So this is what it currently looks like. Short video showing you what's there. And this was sprayed with Celsius, which is really what's going to kill it. And then Certainty has some suppression qualities for Virginia buttonweed, but really it's going to be the Celsius that's going to knock it out. So Virginia buttonweed's a tough one to get rid of in that it normally takes more than one application. You know, it's funny. The only weed that was not the only one, but one of only a couple of weeds on the Celsius label that gets a special mention as far as, hey, you may need to, smack this guy twice to be able to get rid of it, is Virginia buttonweed. So if you guys want to follow the channel, we are going to, that was sprayed 2 days ago, and we'll just continue following it. Next week, we'll do an update, and the week after that, we'll do an update. And next week, I don't expect it to change too much, but 2 weeks from now, I should expect to see it fall off quite a bit. So kind of cool for all you guys that are fighting, guys and gals that are fighting with Virginia buttonweed in your lawn. We'll be able to show you an example of how Celsius will work against it. Again, we also had some Certainty in the tank as well, because frankly, I had to spray some sedges. And while Certainty is not really what you want to use to control Virginia buttonweed, it can help suppress it. Celsius is really the one that will go after it. So we'll see how that combination will work against some that we've got in the lawn there. Again, guys, seriously, my apologies for what for the delay. I wasn't trying to skip out on you guys. I was sitting here talking away, having a great time, and no one was hearing it. All right. Joseph Mag Uric says, thumbs up. Awesome. Glad you're here. Timothy Smith says, welcome back. From one tech nerd to another. When all else fails, reboot. Yeah, dude. I mean, you're right. When all else fails, reboot. Or just start over. Start a new stream, right? Nothing changed other than just like canceling the old one and just starting another one. So I don't know. We'll see. All right. John Dugan says, I hear and obey. So guys, here's the thing. If you guys want to help me out here, because I'm sure we lost some people because of the delayed start. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button for me. I mean, just listen, tonight, don't hit it gently. Smack it hard. Just one time, not on and off. Just one time, really hard to get people coming our way so we can start talking more about lawn care. Mary, I really hope you're still here and can throw your comment back in again. So there were some really good ones, unfortunately, that got erased whenever I switched streams. All right, we got our super chat. First super chat of the evening from Mr. Robert Rainey. Thank you so much, Robert. I really do appreciate it.
Super chat received.
His sponsoring for the technical difficulties this evening came in clutch in a timely manner, Ron. I was about to ask you if you call the help desk. No, I am the help desk. It is me, right? If I got technical problems, I'm the one I got to call, unfortunately. So weird. So what's going to happen now is next week, throughout the week, I'm going to do it again and test it. And next week before the live stream, I'm going to do like a test stream that'll be like unlisted just to make sure this works. I'm not sure why this happened, but así es la vida. Last week, computer crashed. This week, live stream not starting when it's supposed to. Man, we got to get back on the good track, right? All right, Thin Cut is here. He says, good evening, everyone. What's going on? Thin Cut, thanks for coming to hang out. And then Greg Lyon saying, technology is always fun. It is. When it works, and it's awesome. But when it's not, man, it is not fun. Takes me back to my days when I was like a sysadmin and just troubleshooting issues that we got around it quickly. All right, next up is Half. Half says, hey, Ron and chat. Hope all is well. He says, Ron, when is the best time to do a St. Augustine sod plugs? I thought spring, but I'm hearing fall. Depends where in the country you are, Half. I saw your comment when I set this live stream up yesterday, but it didn't carry over now. So if you're in Florida, or South Florida anyway, where it stays hot most of the year, then if you want to go after, if you want to try it now, I mean that's fine. But traditionally with warm season grass, springtime, late spring is when you want to to do any kind of seeding project, any kind of sodding project to really get things to take off best, because you have the most amount of time ahead of you of hot weather that's going to allow the grass to grow. I've never heard of fall before with St. Augustine sod, and I can only imagine perhaps if you were in the southern part of Florida that would apply. Now here's the thing. When it comes to Bermuda, really, again, the better time would be in the spring, but Bermuda doesn't really matter when you do it. Like this lawn that you're looking at right here was sodded in December when the house was built. It was sodded in December. So you figure that is the worst time, figure that's the worst time of year to sod a lawn for the most part in Georgia, because it's cold outside, it's freezing temps, that type of thing. And it grew in just fine. I mean, it looked pretty rough for the first month or so, 6 weeks, but then it started growing in. And then when the next season hit, when it started greening up, we got some warmer weather, it rooted in and did just fine. So yeah, I've not heard of the fall for warm season grass, and I'm not sure if that's something that's special to St. Augustine. Again, I've never sodded St. Augustine before. And if you don't mind, let me know where in the country you are, because again, if you're somewhere where it's warm pretty much year round, like you have fairly mild winters, I don't think it's really going to matter too much. But I've never heard of sodding St. Augustine in the winter, in the fall months. That'd be a first. Interesting way. But I'm happy to be proven wrong. I've just never heard of doing it that way before. All right, Robert, thank you again for the super chat, sir. I'm going to make you the show sponsor. Let me get you up here really quick. Make sure I get that done right tonight. Robert Rainey, your name in lights for whatever that happens to mean to you. All right, so let's go back up see where we left off. Next up is Travis Dougherty. He says, okay, some tips for prodiamine, dates for Texas, please. Okay, so for prodiamine, it really depends on whether you want to do 2 applications during the fall. If you want to save some for the spring, there's a couple different ways you can go about doing it. If you have warm season grass, Travis, I am a fan of making your own version of Coastal, which is a herbicide that I've used in the past. Really liked it. Unfortunately, it's been discontinued in the smaller size, and there were some issues with it as far as it getting like solidifying if you got like a really old batch of it. But really, along with prodiamine, if you can get your hands on some Image, which is pretty easy to come by because you can get that at Home Depot, Lowe's, Wally World, any of those places, and also get yourself some Princep, which is simazine. So you're going to take prodiamine, you're going to take simazine, and you're also going to take imazaquin. So prodiamine, Princep, and Image, and mix those together. And that's going to make a very good combination for controlling poa annua in your lawn. So prodiamine is the pre-emergent. Simazine and the imazaquin are both post-emergent herbicides. And because they're soil-based, you can apply them all. They all work really well together. It's a match made in heaven. So as far as application rates, and I'm giving you rates that are on the conservative side. With the prodiamine, you can apply that if you have the water dispersible granule, which I think I got one here. Yes, if you got this, or go over to the other camera, if you got like this on you, or like the smaller one, which I have here, like this guy here, that'll treat around 6,000 square feet of Bermuda at the high rate. Either that, so if you got that, you can go out with 0.4 ounces, and that's dry ounces. You're gonna need a scale to be able to do this. You need to weigh it out. So 0.4 ounces of prodiamine. You can do 0.75 fluid ounces of Princep, and then 2 ounces of imazaquin. So for imazaquin, the actual rate is really 2.5 ounces per the label, 2.5. You can even go up to 4 really, but I like to back it off a little bit because we're mixing simazine along with it. So just, there's no reason to go full rate on all this stuff. So really the prodiamine we're backing off a little bit, and the Princep we're going down at label rate, and then Image we are going down at a slightly lower rate. As far as the time to apply it, this month we're in September now, so you're good to go. The window is really opening up. When it comes to pre-emergent, you guys know what my mantra is: a little bit early is better than a little bit late, right? So with this combination, if you're planning to mix some post-emergent in along with it, then you get a little bit more leeway. So if you wanted to wait till the 3rd week of September, end of September, you're buying yourself some time because you've now got those post-emergents in case any POA happens to have germinated that should knock it out. But if you're only going out with prodiamine, so you said, hey, Ron, that's just too complicated. I don't want to mix it. That's too much headache. And you're only using prodiamine. I'm a fan of applying it earlier than later. I'll tell you, some of the trucks around here, who did I see? It's something, I think it's Executive Turf Care or one of those guys that spray in this neighborhood, one of the services. They're already spraying. They were the other day, 2 days ago, when I was leaving, they were spraying lawns in here already. So they're already putting prodiamine out, right? Now, granted, they have a lot of lawns to take care of, but the window has opened if you are really trying to get ahead of keeping fall weeds out of your lawn. So I hope that helps. In addition to that, I would say if you are doing, you need to tell me what kind you're doing, whether you're doing granular or liquid. If you're doing liquid, you're going to want to use the correct spray tip. The one that I recommend is this guy here. This is the foliar tip from TJet. It's going to produce a larger droplet size, which is going to help it get past the canopy, get down into the soil where it can really work. So if you're doing a liquid, the thing I would say, and you're doing only prodiamine, no post-emergence with it, get it down a little bit earlier than later. So, this month or now is not a bad time to do it. And then make sure you use the proper spray tip. If you are using a granular product, so I'll show you here, if you are using something like this, so if we go to the store and we go to weed killer and you got a bag of this, really just follow bag rates on the label. There's going to be rates for Scott spreaders, for earth wastes, all the common spreaders. And then after you apply it, you're going to water it in just like you would with the liquid. So you got a couple of different options. I am a fan more so of the liquid option. I mean, either way will work. But the nice thing about the liquid is that you're able to do your post-emergence along with the pre-emergent application. So what you could do is you could also do granular and then go back and go with treat with imazaquin and Princep afterwards if you wanted to. But really, that's you're just kind of creating more work for yourself. So tons of different options there, Travis. I'm trying to think if there's any other tips I can give you as far as prodiamine. Dates, we got you covered. If you're only doing prodiamine, like now is fine. If you're doing, again, the post-emergent along with it, you can wait a little bit longer. And I think that is pretty much everything I have on that one. The plan is, guys, to do a live stream. Right? The plan is to do a live stream, was to do it this weekend, but we'll see if I can do it perhaps next weekend because it's going to rain all this weekend, or at least a video showing for cool season grass how to mix prodiamine, for warm season grass how to mix prodiamine, and then also how to do the combination that I was just telling Travis about. So for cool season grass, it's fairly simple. 0.2 dry ounces per gallon of water over 1,000 square feet. So the rate is quite a bit lower for cool season grass. For warm season grass, I'm going to show you guys how to mix it at a rate of 0.4 dry ounces along with a gallon of water, which is going to cover 1,000 square feet. But we're also going to add the Princep and an image to it as well to show you this combination being done live. I was thinking about doing one with Spectacle, but there's not really a whole lot to that. It's like put water in the tank, add the Spectacle at the correct rate, and away you go. There's not a whole. You're only measuring out really one product, and it's not terribly difficult to do. All right, so hope that helps, Travis. I appreciate the question and the comment and the super chat. Thank you so much for that, sir. I really do appreciate
super chat received.
The super chat. Thank you for all the support. Robert Rainey's here. He says, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Robert. Thanks for the first super chat of the evening, sir, and for being the show sponsor. Your name and lights for whatever that means to you. We got G Free in the house, the Stripe Action Gang, representing tonight, guys. I had to bring back the OG shirt, had to bring it back out, so that's what I'm rocking tonight. And then Archie Amos says, trying to click on YouTube, but nothing. So you should be good to go now, Archie. The link that you are using now is the correct one. And again, guys, I super apologize like 17 times over. I wasn't intentional. I don't know what happened, but we move on. All right, next up is Grant. Grant Gray says, this is the question he had. Good evening. Would it be too late to apply flagship at this point in the season? Thanks. No, I don't think so, Grant. Not at all. So September, you didn't say where in the country you are. You said, yeah, you did. You said, I'm in upstate South Carolina. Okay, so for the most part, your climate is like what I have. Now, the grass is growing slower this time of year, growing slower right now than it was, say, a month ago, right? So it is slowing down a little bit. So instead of having to mow every other day, you now can mow every couple of days. At least that's what I'm doing. So, but there's still plenty of growing season still left in the month of September. So a full rate application this month, I'm totally fine with. It's really when you get to the end of September, when you're moving into October, is when you really want to start backing it off. That's when something like like the flagship, like the 7020, which has just a taste of nitrogen, a bit more potassium, just to keep feeding the lawn, but not too much, not pushing a bunch of growth as the lawn is beginning to check out, is something that would be a better fit for October timeframe. But for September, you're still good to go. In other words, I would still feed the lawn this month the same way I did last month. There's no real difference other than it's just not going to be growing nearly as aggressively because it's not as hot. So hope that helps, sir. Great question. And again, your climate is like mine, so that's what I would do. That's what I'm gonna be doing this weekend. If I can get some dry weather, get out there, get my fert down, and get my primo down. It's supposed to rain a bunch, man. It's crazy. Every time I plan to do something over the weekend, it rains like a whole lot. All right, next up is Jeanette Brooks. She says, hey, Ron, what would you recommend for hybrid Bermuda lawn that became contaminated with common Bermuda by way of the 1/4-inch top dressing soil applied a couple of months ago? Removal of the common. That's a tough one, Jeanette. So there's not, to my knowledge, there's not a herbicide that I'm aware of that will selectively target common Bermuda while leaving the hybrid Bermuda unscathed. About the best you can do is that common Bermuda typically doesn't like being mowed as short as the hybrids do. The hybrids tend to tolerate shorter mowing heights than common. If you're real mowing the lawn, you can get your height cut to 1 inch or underneath. That will help some. But the thing that's interesting is you're saying that you got the common Bermuda from a top dressing job. It's interesting that common Bermuda came in with that. Normally, I tend to see spurge and maybe some crabgrass and other weeds, but common Bermuda is not one I commonly hear coming in with a leveling project. At any rate, the answer is still the same. There's not really a way to eliminate common Bermuda, within a hybrid lawn selectively. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Now, if you had just a patch, like one small area that is only common, what you could do, and here's the thing, it's going to look ugly, is you could take that same combination that I used for my flower beds, which was Fusilade and glyphosate. You got to be really careful and spray just the common. That will knock it back. That will kill it, and that's going to give the surrounding hybrid a chance to spread into that space. But again, it's going to look, I got to tell you, it's going to look ugly. You're going to have a spot in your lawn where the grass is going to be absolutely dead, and there's not really. It's with it being this late in the season, it's hard to say that it would really recover before the rest of the lawn went dormant. So sorry I don't have a better answer for you. There's not really a way that I'm aware of to remove common Bermuda in a hybrid Bermuda lawn, unfortunately. So sorry I don't have a better answer for you on that one. Next up is Zoysia versus Bermuda. Says, good evening. I won Yard of the Month. Dude, it's awesome. That's sweet. You just sent me a picture. Where's the picture? I'm checking my email now. I'm looking here. Let's get over here real quick. Let me see. Where's the picture? No picture. See, that comment is not good without a picture. You got to send a picture, man, so we can see the lawn that won Yard of the Month. Come on. If you have time, you can still send it, and I'll try and get it in the show here tonight. Zoysia versus Bermuda. My email is ron@golfcourselawn.com. So send me an email of your Lawn of the Month winning lawn, and we will show everyone the awesomeness. Because I think if you were in the live stream, you've been here before, and you're the one that has, is it Zoysia in the back and Bermuda up front, or the other way around? I know, but one of your lawns is one grass and the other one is another. Because I remember you had some questions around that. So that's cool, man. I'm glad that your lawn is doing well, and that obviously you're dominating the neighborhood. So keep going. Keep it going, man. Next up is Timothy Smith. He says, any option to get rid of Bermuda in Zoysia? Yes, that one I do have an answer for. Remove Bermuda and install Zoysia sod. Bermuda popping up in spots. Not thinking I do anything safe to remove. So Fusilade 2 will do that. Let me check. I'm just going to double check the label again, but I'm like 90% positive that will do it, because a viewer last year had this very problem, and they used Fusilade with great results to get rid of Bermuda in their Zoysia lawn. So here's the thing, though, you have to plan for, Timothy, is it's going to take likely more than one application, and you're definitely going to want to read the product label, because the rates for spot spraying Fusilade 2 versus a blanket spraying, which I'm not sure which one you're going to be doing, they're slightly different. So I'm going to show you here, just so you can check it out as well. You can read it along with me. Let me find the spot I was looking for here. And yeah, here we go. All right. So let's switch over to this, and you can see, so as far as what it does for suppression and or control of common Bermuda grass or hybrid Bermuda grass and other grass weeds. Okay, see, here's the thing. I mean, I love Syngenta. Why they call Bermuda a weed in the label, I don't understand. That was uncalled for. You say undesirable grass. Well, why you got to call it a weed? Anyway, he says, in other grass weeds in Zoysia, fine fescue, tall fescue, turf grasses, in golf course, residential lawns, yada yada yada. So yeah, so Fusilier 2 will do exactly what you are after, Timothy. If you feel like supporting the channel, I will give you a link here to pick it up where we get a small affiliate commission if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But can't blame me for trying, right? Can't blame a guy for trying. But yes, Fusilier 2 will do that. And again, the viewer last year had this exact problem. They were able to use it, do it, and they actually got really good results. It took 2 applications to knock the Bermuda back, though. So don't think it's going to be a one and done. And there you go for Fusilier. I'll tell you, for Fusilier along with glyphosate on Bermuda in flower beds, like in mulch beds, or just areas where you don't really care that there's no grass you're trying to protect, man, it's absolutely devastating. I mean, because glyphosate by itself really won't do it. I mean, it'll knock it back. It'll make it look really ugly, but a couple of weeks later, you'll start seeing the Bermuda come back. The Bermuda that I sprayed, it's coming up on a month now, still looks like scorched earth. There's not the slightest bit of color anywhere in that mulch bed. So it's a great combination if you're doing a non-selective kill-off, but in your case, Fusilier is what you're going to want to use, Fusilier 2. And again, be sure to read the label because there's different rates, again, for spot spraying and then for blanketing. So check that out. That should do the trick for you. It is safe for Zoysia. I know someone personally that used this last year and had great results with it. It just takes more than one app to get the result that you are after. Great question. Good evening, Adrian. He says, good evening. Hopefully you're doing well, sir. Thanks for coming to hang out. I appreciate you. And and he says the replacement was last year. So that's cool, man. So you decided to get rid of the Bermuda and go out with some Zoysia. That's interesting. That's interesting. I've thought about doing that only in the front lawn, like the slope area. I'd have to mow it less, which would be nice. And because it doesn't really border or doesn't touch any other part of the rest of my lawn, I would really wouldn't have to worry about it spreading or really moving into other areas and having to fight with it too much. But it still sounds like a lot of work, right? Because then I got to level again, and there's all that, and I got to kill off the existing lawn. Sounds like a lot of work when I start thinking about it. So I talk myself out of it, kind of like I'm doing right now. But it sounds like you actually went forward with it, Timothy, which is really cool. All right, next up is Greg Lyon. He says, will all the compost that Richard put down while leveling disintegrate by next spring? I am still waiting for some of my sand traps to fill in, and it's been 2 weeks since it was done. Yeah, so here's the thing. Richard does give you your money's worth when it comes to the amount of sand that he applies. It will grow in. There's still time this year, Greg, for it to fill in. You've got the entire month of September. Really, the grass is going to start slowing down now, but really the month of September is still going to be growing, and I would imagine by the end of this month, you should see the lawn should be looking a lot better. The areas that really on my lawn that still have sand visible are that one spot that you guys know that I'm talking about where it was like literally almost 1.5 inches of just sand. That is growing in really nicely to where I can mow over it now without getting it in any of the sand at this point. And then there's another area that's also off of that swale where he also went really heavy as well. So those 2 heavy spots have grown in really nicely. And they're the only ones that are still a little bit lagging behind. The rest of the lawn is looking very good. So to answer your question, yes, it should fill in by the end of this month. If you don't mind, Greg, send me a picture of it. I'd like to see how heavy he went, but he does tend to go heavier. I think what's happened is in the past, I mean, he didn't actually tell me this, but there's in the past people that have used the service before have said that he didn't put down enough material or enough sand. So I think now he just makes sure that he does a good job and gives, just levels as to the best of his ability, using more on the heavy side than on not the heavy side. So it will grow in, it'll be fine. And again, you've got the entire month of September now, and I'm fairly confident that it will grow in and be good to go by the time you're putting the lawn to sleep here in another couple of months. So there's still time. There's still time. Do not lose faith. There's still time. All right, Todd Hickey is up next. He says, my lawn has lost the smooth appearance it once had. I'm going to read this like this way. I'm mowing almost daily at 0.7 inches, real mowing tip weight 419, Eastern North Carolina. Thanks. So you're saying it was really smooth and now it's not smooth anymore, Todd? I mean, here's the thing. If you top dressed the lawn a couple of years ago, right? That what you will find is over time it will become. I was going to say it's going to get like really really rough, but you will get some small ruts and ridges here and there. But I mean, it shouldn't go back to the way it was before. It's hard to, without seeing pictures of what you're referring to be able to say why it's reverted. But I'll tell you, for example, my lawn, right? Last year it got a very light top dressing, but really the year before then, that was 20. Actually, no, last year was it? It got a fairly decent top dress, but not heavy, and it wasn't the entire lawn. And this year it still looked good, but the first part of the season it looked good, but not as good as it looks now. So in other words, the smooths that you're seeing here, if I can show you, the smooths you're seeing in the lawn now, where it looks like a pool table, I think every couple of years, a light top dress is what it's going to take to be able to get that look. So it's still going to look better than your neighbor's lawns. It's still going to look awesome. And depending on, again, how flat your lawn is, how much water gets on it, how much the water drains off of it, all those things cause wear that can cause the lawn to become slightly less smooth. Again, it should never go back to the way it was completely. But in other words, if you top dress a lawn, it's not like it becomes a pool table and it stays that way forever. Every other year, it's not uncommon to have to do a light top dress just to fill in and just do some touch-up work. So it's interesting that you're saying that yours has fallen off. But I mean, are you saying that between last year and this year it's happened, or it was smooth the first part of the season and now it's less smooth now? If you're still here, if you can let me know which of those two it is, it'd be interesting to find out. But I guess what I'm saying is that it's not uncommon to have to do another top dress, I say, a year and a half later or 2 years later. So if you get on every other year doing a light touch-up work, you're going to find the lawn's going to stay looking good for, it's going to be more consistent in its appearance if you're able to do that. Not everyone can, and again, it's kind of unnecessary. Only if you're really a major lawn nerd would you do that, but it's just something to consider if you want it to be as smooth as possible all the time. All right, Travis Dougherty says, what's the best post-emergent mix for all weeds in Bermuda in Texas? Okay, there is no one that will kill everything, but I can tell you what I like to use that kills most things. So if you have Dallas grass, what I'm about to recommend is not going to do a whole lot for that. Certainty will injure it, but it's not going to actually kill it. But there's not really a post-emergent herbicide that will kill Dallas grass, unfortunately, in residential lawns. So what I want to recommend to you, Travis, but if you got go to what it does treat, if you have tons of any kind of broadleaf or sedges, which are very common, and also it's not great against crabgrass, but it will kill young crabgrass as well, is the Certainty Celsius combination. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. We will go to the golf course lawn store and go to shop and then weed killer. And it's this combination. So if you're dealing with mainly broadleaf weeds, then you can just go with Celsius. This by itself will do just broadleaf. So it's a great product for that. If you're dealing with sedges or poannua, so annual bluegrass or any kind of sedge, then Certainty is where you're going to want to go. This guy, and this also does some other grassy weeds as well too. But really, the magic happens when you mix both these guys together. So in the product description for both of these, you'll see there's a video where I talk about killing grass, but not killing weeds, but not your grass. And what I show is how I personally mix Celsius along with Certainty for an excellent combination. What I think is really the best combination for warm season grass. It's going to take care, again, of other than Dallas grass and like some of your really edge products or your edge weeds. It's an excellent option for that. So what we have is a kit here that has Celsius, that has Certainty in it, has Surfactant, which you're going to want to use for best results, and then also has a marker dye. So you get all four products: the two herbicides, the marker dye, and the Surfactant, all in one kit. Saves you a bunch of clicking, and it also saves you a bit of money by just getting it all in one. Saves you time. So you didn't tell me all the weeds that you're dealing with in particular, but for most of the weeds that most people have in their lawns in warm season grass, that combination is going to do it. So I can show you an example. Like my neighbor next door, when he moved in late last year, he didn't get any pre-emergent down, didn't really get the lawn prepped. And what happened is we woke up this spring, or he woke up this spring to a big salad bowl. I did one application, a single application of Celsius, Certainty, Surfactant, and the marker dye. And let me think, I also, and the marker dye. And I also did some Acelyprin as well, SC as well, in the tank all at the same time. And that one application cleaned up the lawn. I mean, it got way, way better. I mean, it's in a much better place now than it was this time last year. And then once we start getting on pre-emergent, so this fall, we're gonna make sure we get pre-emergent down, and he's gonna be in a much better place for next spring. So to answer your question, there's a long, really long, drawn out answer to tell you Celsius and Certainty for a lot of broad coverage, but that is not gonna kill everything. Like if you have Dallas grass, it's not gonna kill Dallas grass. The best way to get rid of Dallas grass in your residential lawn is to dig it out. If all you're dealing with is crabgrass, while Celsius can work for that, a better option is quinclorac. So if your primary weed is a crabgrass, then go with quinclorac. But if you're wanting something that's a very broad spectrum that covers broadleafs and sedges and poanua, then this guy will do it. Celsius and Certainty, you can get them at the golf course lawn store under the weed killer section. So hope that helps, Travis. That's my go-to, and that's what I actually sprayed this area in the lawn. I think I already showed you guys, but I've been getting a lot of questions about Virginia buttonweed. So a couple of days ago, this area was sprayed with the Celsius Certainty combination. Now, again, Celsius is the one that's really going to kill this. The Certainty really is just it has some suppressive qualities for Virginia buttonweed, but it's not actually going to kill it. But Celsius will do that. It'll probably take a couple of applications, but 2 should get that done. So what will happen is if you guys watch the live stream next week, I'll update you guys on how it's working on these weeds in the lawn. Very good stuff. Next up is Greg Lyon. He says, when I put surfactant in my sprayer, it seems to clog my nozzle. How can I prevent that from occurring? How much surfactant are you putting in, Greg? Because I've not experienced an issue with the spreader sticker. I'm not sure which one you're using, ever clogging up my nozzle. And I use the foliar tip, the one that produces a very fine droplet size whenever I use or I'm spraying, my post-emergent herbicides along with surfactant. So when it comes to surfactant, you don't need very much. A couple of ounces is all it takes. You don't need to do too much. In addition, I would say make sure that the tank is mixed really well. That's an important part. So if you have your sprayer that's, if it's empty and you're adding the surfactant to an empty tank, let's not do that. Also, if you are, the way you should be doing it, we can go through this really quickly. If you're spraying post-emergent herbicides, let's say you're going to spray these 2 guys. You're going to spray Celsius and Certainty. You put these guys down. Here's how you would do it. You take the 4-gallon backpack sprayer, assuming you need all 4 gallons of it. You're going to fill it halfway with water. You're going to add these products. So the 0.45, if memory serves me, it's on this cup for the Celsius, and then 3 of the small scoops of the Certainty. And then get that agitated, give it a good shake, put the cover on obviously first, get that shaken up, get it suspended, then add your surfactant. Again, a few ounces is all it takes. It doesn't take very much. And again, give it a really good shake, and along with your marker dye. And as long as you do a good job shaking it and getting everything mixed properly, you shouldn't run into issues with it clogging. Again, I've sprayed a fair amount of this stuff, and I've never experienced any issues with clogging. And that's with, again, using that foliar tip that's very, very fine. So I'm trying to think of what else I could tell you, Greg. Also, make sure that whenever you're done spraying, is that you're rinsing out the equipment really well. So it might be a thing where if you are done and you're just putting the backpack sprayer up. So in other words, let's say you're done spraying this combination I'm telling you about, right? And you just rinse out the tank and you put the sprayer up. That's not good. Essentially, what you want to do is once you're done, rinse the tank, obviously. But what I also do is put a half a gallon of water in there. And I run the sprayer, just run water through the sprayer for about 30 seconds. That helps flush any product, any surfactant, any herbicide, anything that's there out of the pump, out of the wand, out of the spray tip. So the only thing that's left in the sprayer when I put it up is just water residue. That's the only thing I can think of that could have caused your problem with clogging if you perhaps used the sprayer with a surfactant, perhaps in your previous application. And you didn't rinse it properly. By rinsing it properly, I mean cleaning out the wand and the spray tip, or you're going a bit too heavy on the amount of surfactant that you're using and you're not ensuring that it's mixed properly. Those are the only things that can really come to mind, because I've never personally experienced an issue with the tank, with the spray tip clogging from the surfactant. So hopefully those tips help, sir. Let me know if any of those might have been the culprit as to why that happened or why you're running into that issue. But I can't think of anything else other than that could be causing the problem that you are referring to. Next up is Archie Amos. He says, "Okay, you're on TV. Nice, I'm on TV. Hopefully I look okay, man. I gotta make sure. I'm gonna clean this up. I don't want it to look too bad. I'm on a big screen. I don't want to be all shiny, looking, scaring you guys too much." All right. Next is Jackie Bear. He says, "Good evening, Brother Ron. Have a great stream, sir." Well, thank you, Jackie. I really appreciate that. It started out a little bit bumpy, but we are smooth sailing now. We're looking much better now. We got a couple of pictures. Looks like Eric sent me some pictures. Let's see what we got going on here from Eric. Oh my goodness gracious, Eric! Wow. Oh yes, we got some yard of the month action going on, guys. And normally I don't like to bring in pictures like when it's live like this, but I mean this is too good to not show you guys. It's too good to not show you. So these are from Mr. Eric Meehan. Let me show you guys picture one. Oh, the color. My goodness gracious. Oh, If we can get it to load, I'm tempting fate here. We'll see. Look at the color, guys. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I mean, that is, that's pretty impressive, man. That color is absolutely gorgeous. Looking solid. And of course, he's going to show us his lawn of the, actually, let me scroll down here and move up a little bit. His yard of the month, Providence Farm yard of the month. And I can see why, sir. That is looking solid. The color looks great. The leveling, the cut looks great. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I salute you, and we got to give you some applause. We got to clap it up for that, man. That's pretty awesome. Your lawn's looking better than my lawn, man. That's looking really, really good right now. Congratulations on all your hard work, obviously paying off. You sent me some more pictures here, but yeah, those looking solid. It's looking solid, Eric. Keep going. Whatever you're doing, well, I have an idea what you're doing, but what you're doing, keep going, because obviously it's working. All right, next is Jay Johnson. Jay Johnson says, my Bermuda lawn has a mix of common and hybrid. I hate it. Next season, should I overseed with hybrid to make it look more uniform? Here's the thing, you can't really overseed with hybrid, Jay Johnson, because most hybrid is it's sterile. So most hybrid Bermuda grasses are really only available in sod form. So if you really hate it, here's what I would say. If you are hating the hybrid common blend, right? Like this is driving you absolutely crazy. And if you're willing to do this, it's kind of an extreme way, but this is the way you're going to get the grass to be even, is to do a renovation. That would mean killing off the existing lawn that you got, the existing grass you got, and then doing the sod with your hybrid of choice. Tahoma 31 is getting a lot of great reviews. A lot of people seem to be using it and really liking it. That's something you can do. But as far as a hybrid, like you're not gonna be able to get Tifway 419 in seed. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get Tifway 419 or Tif Tough or any of those. Those are all sterile whenever the sod is put in. So it's really your call. If you want to kill off the existing lawn and then go with like an improved common or something like a Yukon or any of those, then that's an option. But as far as getting a hybrid in for your lawn, that's really at your heart set on, like a Tif Tough, Tifway, Tahoma, any of those, you're really gonna want to go renovation. Anything else is really going to be an exercise in frustration in trying to get one to take over the other, because there's no way to know if it'll ever happen. And if it does happen, it's a multi-year, several year process. It's not like something that's going to happen overnight. So that would be my recommendation as far as that goes. If you really hate it that much, if it's bugging you that much, when you look at it, it's driving you crazy, then doing a renovation is likely going to be your best bet versus trying to introduce, more grass seed and hoping that you can get it to even out, unfortunately. Todd Hickey's up next. He says, I feel the need, like I need to graduate from my California trimmer 26-inch. Think the wheels are a problem along with the low weight. What is the next best option to level up? Hybrid Bermuda, Eastern North Carolina. So you have a California trimmer 26-inch. You're not liking the drive wheels. So the trimmer, the True Cut, all great. They're good mowers. I would say, Todd, if you're really trying to go to the next level, then getting into a greens mower is where you're going to want to be. Anything with a rear drum. So if you can get a pre-owned Greensmaster or find a John Deere, you can get a brand new one if you want to. But last time I priced them, they were like 15 grand. The price on them has really gone up a lot for a brand new one. So getting a pre-owned Greensmaster or John Deere is a good option. Or if you want to go the electric route, there's also the Allets. Those are also really good too, the Sterling. Really, anything with a rear drum is going to do a couple of things. You're going to get better stripes because, for the most part, you're eliminating the problems that the True Cuts have, and like the California Trimmer, a lot of any of the mowers that have drive wheels for propulsion, right? You're getting rid of those hot spots. The weight is more evenly distributed over more of the grass. You're going to get you're not going to have those hot spots, and you're going to get much better stripe action because, again, you got the entire weight distributed more evenly, and you got more weight rolling the grass down. So I would say, regardless of which one you choose, your next mower for the next level up from a California Trimmer or a True Cut needs to be something with a rear drum type propulsion system. So I gave you a couple of options there. The Greensmaster is a great mower. The Allet's a great mower if you want to go electric. And of those, if you're talking about probably the most cost-effective out of all the options, a pre-owned Greensmaster is going to be less expensive than getting like a brand new Allet Sterling, or definitely getting a brand new Greensmaster. But here's the thing: while we're talking through this, one of the benefits of going with some kind of interchangeable cartridge system mower is a lot of the cultivation type work that you may want to consider doing, like verticutting, like turf raking, those types of things. If you're planning to do that, and verticutting at a minimum is something you should really consider doing, is having a mower where all the debris goes into a catcher, into a basket to where you can easily empty it out, is a huge deal. You're really gonna be hating life if you go out and try and rent a verticutter to do that. So just something to consider. You know what I mean? The Greensmaster is gonna be a little less expensive. It's gonna produce an excellent cut. The Sterling is gonna be more expensive. It's also gonna produce an excellent cut, but it also gives you the option of being able to get multiple machines in one. So it just depends on which way you want to go, what your budget is, what you're trying to do. So hopefully that helps, sir. Gave you lots to think about. And whichever you go with, definitely let us know. Take pictures of it so we can show it off in the live stream, right? Next up is Drew Anderson. He says, happy holiday weekend, Ron. Could you give us a quick primer on PGR? I just bought a reel mower and I'm going low in the spring. Thanks. Sure. So PGR, also known as the product that once you start using it, you'll wonder why you waited so long. So Primo Max, what's funny, guys, you asked about PGR. I actually filmed a new lesson for the Golf Course Lawn Academy for my paid course, strictly on the topic of PGR, of growth regulator. So I'll tell you in a nutshell here what we're talking about. So what PGR is, the one that I'm talking about that I like to use is called Primo Max. The active ingredient in this product is called trinexapac ethyl, which is a really long name for the chemical that helps suppress gibberellic acid synthesis. So without getting too scientific, gibberellic acid is what the grass uses to grow tall. It's like the enzyme the grass uses to grow tall. This product, if you apply it at the full rate, over the period of 3 to 4 weeks, is going to suppress your grass's ability to create that. So in essence, the grass is going to stop growing. It's going to slow down a lot. It's going to reduce the amount of growth that you would get by up to 50%. Now, there's a couple different strategies for applying Primo. Per the label, you can apply it once per month, and you're going to get 3 to 4 weeks of regulation. The benefits of doing that, of taking that approach, are one, you only got to be out there once per month, so it saves you time. If you don't like to go out in your lawn, which I kind of doubt, then you only have to be out there one time, and then at the end of the month, you'll do another application. The negative to doing that, by only applying it once per month, is that you are much more likely to get temporary yellowing, also known as tip burn, by applying this at the full rate. So another strategy for applying Primo Max that I'm a huge fan of is to apply it at half rate. So the rate for Primo, for say Bermuda, or for your hybrid Bermudas and for Zoysia, is 0.25 fluid ounces mixed with a gallon of water, and that covers 1,000 square feet. So 1/4 of an ounce. So if you take the measuring cup that's built into the container, so right here between 3 and 2, like that is the full rate for hybrid Bermuda and for your Zoysia lawns, right? So if we take that amount, we multiply it times 4, because most of you guys have a 4-gallon backpack sprayer, is that 4-gallon backpack sprayer with 1 ounce of this, right? So 0.25 times 4 is going to cover 4,000 square feet, and that's going to give you a month's or so worth of regulation. What I recommend doing is to cut that rate in half. So with the same 4 gallons of water, you're going to apply half an ounce of this. So here's your measuring cup that Syngenta is nicely put in here. You're going to take half an ounce, so half rate, 0.5 fluid ounces of this with 4 gallons of water. And to sweeten the deal and also help prevent tip burn, we're going to mix liquid fertilizer along with it. So let me show you what I am doing this year. We'll go over to the golf course lawn store and we'll get away from the weed killer section. We'll go to a section that is more fun, the lawn fertilizer section. What I'm doing this year is I'm mixing Release 901C, which is a liquid nitrogen product. It's also a biostimulant, along with Nutrizolve, which contains iron. So I'm getting some nitrogen and some iron along with my Primo Max application, which also helps further reduce tip burn. If you don't want to do 2 of them, what you could do is something like Turfplex, which has nitrogen in it and also has a bit of iron in it as well. So you got a couple different options. You can do 901C and Nutrizolve, or you could just do Turfplex by itself. Either strategy will work just fine. So that, along with the rate that I told you, of half an ounce with 4 gallons of water, the beginning of this month, let's say if you're going to go out and spray it tomorrow, you could spray 4 gallons with half an ounce of Primo, whatever rate you decide to go with on the liquids. I recommend 6 ounces per 6 ounces per gallon per 1,000 square feet of the 901C, and then 3 ounces or so of the Nutrizolve. So you're going to do that in the first, and then in the middle of the month of September, you can do the same thing again. And what that's going to do is you're going to still get the same regulation. It's still going to work absolutely great as far as regulation goes, but you're not going to get the tip burn, and you get all the benefits of Primo Max, of using growth regulator, with really none of the negatives other than you have to be out there doing it twice a month instead of just once per month. But that is the way I would recommend going about it. So we do have Primo Max in stock in the golf course lawn store. One of these bottles will treat 16,000 square feet if you have warm season grass, you're at that 0.25 rate. If you have cool season grass, the rate is higher, so you have to consult the label for that. We have, the rates in the product description on the store as well. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So you're getting like a snippet of what's in the Golf Course Lawn Academy right there just for free, right? I've thought about actually releasing just that video for you guys so you can see like what some of the lessons look like. But I mean, you got an idea of what it's like, although explained a bit better in the live stream. So hope that helps, Drew. Let me know if you need anything else. I guess the only thing I could tell you as well is the time when I would start using Primo. You didn't say where in the country you are, but for me, the end of April, early May, so like May 1st is when I start, and I apply it all the way through September. So this month is still going to get a full rate application of Primo Max. At the beginning, I'm going to do my half rate, and then the middle of the month, I'm going to do another half rate application. So it's going to get overall the full rate spread out over 2 applications. And then in October is when I tend to taper it off and not apply growth regulator anymore. So between May through September, in where I am in the country, is when I will apply Primo. If you're in Florida, then you might be into October still using your growth regulator. So it really depends on where you are in the country, on how long into the growing season you're going to be applying your growth regulator. So hope that helps, sir. Long-winded answer, but I want to make sure I got you covered, because you asked the question, and as you can tell, you ask about mowing or real mowers, or you ask about like plant growth regulator, you're gonna get a long answer, because those are 2 topics, along with others, that are near and dear to my heart. Love Primo. The only thing I'm gonna tell you, Drew, last thing before I move on to the next comment, I gotta warn you, there's life before Primo and there's life after. Once you start using this stuff, you're not gonna want to stop using it. So I gotta warn you, dude. I'm just putting the information out there. You can take that and do with it as you like. But I'll tell you that once you see what it does for your lawn, you're not gonna want to go back. It's pretty awesome. All right, next up is Lawn to Learn. He says, we lay sod all year round in South Florida. So there you go. I know with Bermuda, we lay sod. Bermuda sod gets laid all year round here in my area in Georgia and in Florida, and which I'm kind of thinking, because I'm here in St. Augustine, it's either going to be Florida or I imagine maybe South Texas. Like South Texas has some St. Augustine lawns too. Really, if you got the heat, man, go for it. I've not heard why the fall would be a special time to do St. Augustine versus the springtime. The first time I've ever heard that. Next up is Wayne C. He says, hey, Ron, how do I get rid of Centipede in my hybrid Bermuda? You could use quinclorac. Quinclorac is safe for your hybrid Bermuda, but it is not safe for Centipede. It will damage Centipede, much like St. Augustine, it will damage it. So I'll give you a link for that, Wayne C. Quinclorac is normally most people think about it as far in the context of using it for crabgrass, but it's also good for taking care of Centipede as well, and for St. Augustine. If you got St. Augustine in Bermuda and you want to keep the Bermuda, quinclorac is good for that as well too. So let me get you here. Say Wayne at Wayne C and quinclorac. And I saw your comment there, Drew, Central North Carolina. Yeah. So Drew, in your case, you could. Yeah, so you'd be just like me. You could do Primo this month if you wanted to. You could do Primo this month if you wanted to. Like if I were in your climate, I would absolutely be doing it. So, and then October, unless we get an unseasonably warm fall, like last year, it was warm like into, I say, or mild into December. Like you were still mowing grass all the way into December. In that case, you may continue doing it, but really September is you're safe to apply it through September. Really. All right. So for Wayne C, quinclorac. Spelling, do not fail me now. Here we go. That is what I would recommend for getting rid of Centipede in your hybrid Bermuda. Make sure you read the label. The label is going to call for, you can use surfactant with it, but really it's going to call for using a methylated seed oil, an MSO. Make sure you read the label because the amount of that you use, you need to make sure that you're using the correct ratios of methylated seed oil with quinclorac to get a good result. So hope that helps, sir. That's a good one. So if you told me the other way around, I wouldn't have anything for you. I'm not sure how you would get rid of Bermuda out of Centipede, but getting rid of Centipede in Bermuda, that we can do. That we can do. I don't know, maybe atrazine. Maybe you could do atrazine. That might work. All right, next up is Dave Ubwell. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name, Dave. If I am, I apologize. He says, hey, Ron, I just got new Bermuda sod this year. We got to clap it up for that. Congrats. Normally the clapping is only reserved for mowers, but the new Bermuda lawn, that's worth talking about. His question is, what is the best height of cut for winter? I read somewhere it's best to grow long to protect the roots. What are your thoughts? I'm currently cutting at 1.5 inches. I would leave it at 1.5 inches, Drew. Dave, that's a good height of cut. So my lawn, I am leaving at 3/4 of an inch. I'm mowing at 0.75 inches. And last year, I went into dormancy with it at 1/2 inch and left it there into the springtime. So on my lawn, in the climate that I am in, where I am in the country, 0.5, the lawn tolerated it just fine. 3/4 of an inch, even that much better. So you're at 1.5 inches, you should be absolutely fine. I wouldn't go much taller than that. The reason being is that if you are planning to scalp the lawn in the spring to get your season started out, if you let the grass grow out to 2.5, 3 inches, yeah, I mean, are you protecting the roots a little bit better? Sure. But really 1.5 inches really should be sufficient. And the problem is if you decide you're going to scalp next spring, it's a lot more material to get rid of. You wouldn't be surprised, or you would be shocked at how much even just 1/4 inch makes as far as how much debris is going to come out of the lawn whenever you decide to scalp in the spring. So just something to consider. 1.5 inches, if the grass looks good there, I would frankly just leave it there and going into dormancy. I wouldn't grow it out any longer. The grass doesn't need an afro going into the winter months. It's 1.5 inches is good. 1.5 inches is just fine. And congrats on the new sod, man. Good choice on Bermuda. Next up is Alex Ty Mayo. He says, dude, I've learned a lot by just watching your videos. I appreciate that, man. It really means a lot to me. I want you to know that we really appreciate your work. Greetings from Canada, from the Great White North. Well, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, Alex. Thanks for watching the content. And yeah, I'm glad that you guys are finding the content useful even up in Canada. You know, I'd love to be able to figure out a way to be able to make a lot of the products that we can get here in the States available to you guys in Canada. Like some things you can get like Primo and some of the others, a few small things. But, you know, the big problem is just customs getting it over. Even for products that are labeled for use in Canada, like if you're shipping it from the United States to there, it can sit in customs for a couple of weeks before you get it, right? And most of you guys don't want to have to deal with that. At any rate, I really do appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much for watching the content. It means a lot. You don't know, man. As a YouTuber / lawn care enthusiast, like a lot of work goes into creating the videos, and it's, you know, you always feel good when you find out that it's helpful. So appreciate that. Thanks for letting me know. Half from Central Louisiana says, I'm also considering maybe scrapping the St. Augustine and starting the change to Bermuda. No arguments here. Can you sell me on Bermuda, and what type as well? Can I sell you on Bermuda? So what is, so you're talking about like, why is Bermuda, I'm trying to do this and not sound too biased. Why is Bermuda better than St. Augustine? Or why would I get rid of St. Augustine to Bermuda? Okay, without trying to sound too biased. If you want a shorter, if you want your grass to look like this, how about this? Picture does 1,000 words. If you want a lawn that looks like this, Like St. Augustine will never, ever, no matter how much you mow it, will ever, ever, ever look like that. Not ever. So if that look, being able to mow your lawn at under an inch, 3/4 of an inch thereabouts, and having that golf course lawn look, that golf course fairway look is appealing. Having a lawn that isn't as susceptible to disease like St. Augustine is. St. Augustine tends to have a lot of problems with brown patch, or be more susceptible to it than Bermuda. A grass that is, again, just super, super hardy, meaning that if you make a mistake as far as like a fertilizer application, or even like you're a little bit off on anything you apply to it, it's just going to bounce back. So the grass just take a lot of beating and will just come back looking great. Bermuda is really tough to beat. I mean, it stripes really well, as you saw there. I mean, I'm trying to think of the negatives to Bermuda grass. I mean, in other words, the only way I would say you'd keep St. Augustine is if you like a longer lawn, if you like a taller lawn, if you like that crunchy lawn, like some people like that. Some people like that crunchy grass feeling whenever they're walking on their lawn. You're not going to get that with Bermuda. So if that's your thing, then St. Augustine is a better fit. But if all the other reasons are more appealing to you, meaning you want to mow shorter, you want to be able to reel mow and have a lawn that looks like a golf course, you want a lawn that's a grass that is very, very disease resistant, and it's an incredible grass type as far as just being able to take a lot of abuse. So if you use your lawn a lot, so say you play volleyball on it or sports on it, or you're out using it a lot, a grass that is very resistant and will just take that abuse and bounce back really well. Bermuda. The only thing I'll tell you though is once you get it, it's very difficult to get rid of. So once you decide you're going to go to Bermuda, ensure that that's what you really want. Now, as far as the type, if I were doing a Bermuda lawn now from scratch, but if you asked me this a year or so ago, I would have told you like Celebration, because I love the way Celebration look. However, there's a new Bermuda cultivar called Tahoma 31 that is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it pains me to say it, but it really does look better than Celebration. So if you were going to get rid of your St. Augustine, you were starting from scratch, I would install Tahoma. It's a beautiful grass, as far as Bermuda goes, and it has all the benefits, great color. It's just, it's awesome. It's the bee's knees as far as the new hotness in Bermuda grass, grass types. So yeah, hopefully that helps. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, that's another thing. If you have crabgrass, like in your Bermuda lawn, you can spray quinclorac. That's another good reason. So as far as the kind of herbicides you can spray, like Bermuda is less sensitive than St. Augustine. So say you have crabgrass in your lawn, and I mean, heaven forbid, I know you don't have any crabgrass in your lawn, but let's say you did, right? One of the best herbicides for getting rid of crabgrass in warm season grass is quinclorac, and you cannot spray that on St. Augustine because it will damage and or kill it, much like Centipede, right? Whereas Bermuda, you can spray that all day long, no problem. It tolerates it just fine. So that's another reason too. So as far as being able to spray a broader range of herbicides with less chance of injuring the grass, Bermuda. So there's a bunch of reasons why I am a fan of Bermuda. And hopefully, I gave you my answer in a way that's not too biased. It didn't come across as like, he hates all grass types other than Bermuda, which is not true. But I do like it more than I do St. Augustine. All right, so there we go. Hopefully that helps half. Let me know which way you decide to go. I think Bermuda would look great on your lawn in Louisiana. Next is John Dugan. John says, Kentucky bluegrass lawn in upstate New York took a beating this summer. Front yard is scorched. I'm reseeding this weekend. Wish me luck. Fingers crossed. Wishing you luck, John. I'm sure it's going to bounce back. You're going to do your seeding. This is your go time, right? We get to have fun from May into September-ish, into late end of September is about when our lawns, that's the time frame when our lawns looking its absolute best. And you guys are now just starting to ramp up, and you guys are gonna be carrying the flag for, lawn care nerds for the rest of the year. So yeah, don't worry about it. You can do your seeding project and the KBG is gonna look just great. I wonder what kind of a seed are you using? It'd be interesting to find out what seed you went with, because we've been getting questions here recently as far as like what kind of grass seed to use on cool season grass. I don't have a cool season lawn, so I just tell people to go get Barenbrug because it's a good grass seed. It's very well reviewed. But it'd be interesting to know what you decided to go with, John, in your lawn. So if you're still around, hit me up in the chat and let me know what you decided to go with. Next up is Jerry Sobel. Jerry says, "Hey Ron, I'll re-add my FYI. I did a white top dressing. I think he meant light top dressing. A light top dressing of my backyard with 1.5 tons of sand last weekend, and I used the Sterling 51 brush cartridge and it worked fantastic. Nice. I like it. I like it, Jerry. That's the one cartridge I don't have. I don't have that cartridge for my Owlet. And according to what Roland tells me, how you are using it is exactly what it's intended for. So, if you're doing any kind of top dressing work just to help work that material in, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that it's working well. I think you're the only person. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that's actually gotten that cartridge that has provided feedback on it. I know there's other people that have it, but none of them have actually told me how it did. So I'm glad that it worked well for you, sir. If you can, man, send me pictures of the new mower. Whenever you get a free minute, send me pictures of the new mower and of the brush cartridges and everything that you got going on. If you want, I can show everyone else here in the live stream. Be kind of cool. Check it out. Greg Lyon says, how in the heck do you get Wi-Fi signal out in the furthest part of your lawn from the last live stream? Magic and voodoo. So I like to say I'm a technology guy, but I wasn't that great at technology the first part of tonight. So the way it works, Greg, is one, the wireless setup that I have in the house is it's a really good one. It's not like a Netgear router that you go buy at like Best Buy or anything like that. It's like an enterprise type Wi-Fi with like a bunch of different zones and stuff. So there's that. So the wireless is really good. But when you are watching the video, like whenever I have the camera all the way out at the end of the lawn and is facing the house, remember the computer that's actually doing the live streaming is sitting on the porch, and then I have a wireless transmitter that sits on the camera that takes the video feed out of the camera and then transmits that to a receiver that's right next to the computer that's on the patio, and then plays it out over YouTube in the live stream. So I'm not relying on the Wi-Fi, the house Wi-Fi, for transporting the video signal from the camera to the computer that's streaming it out. I could be pretty much, with the setup that I have, I can be pretty much anywhere on the property, and I can get the video transmitter will be able to send the signal, and it's gonna look great. So, but my Wi-Fi does work all the way out there too. I mean, I don't take the laptop all the way out there because frankly I don't have anything to put it on, and there's no power out there. But it does work. The entire lawn, everything is covered with Wi-Fi. You can sit out by the rocks and with a laptop and watch this live stream, and it would work absolutely fine. But again, that's due to the way I have all the different cells balanced in the house. So it's not like your average Wi-Fi setup. So there's that. But that's not what's doing the video or transporting the video when I'm out in the lawn. Okay. Next is, and if you want to dig into it a little bit more, Greg, send me an email. I'll tell you more about the setup and how to do it if you're interested. I will tell you it's not inexpensive, but it does work really well. And just send me an email here, Ron at Golf Course Lawn, to say, hey, it's Greg from the live stream. What are you using for your Wi-Fi setup? And I'll tell you how I have it put together. All right, next up is RR84. Says, hello, Ron, first-time viewer. Great content on your channel. First of all, welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out. I really appreciate you. I'm sorry your first experience, at least the start, was not that great because we had some technical problems, but I'm glad you stuck around and are here. So I really appreciate each and every one of you guys taking some time out of your Friday night to come hang out in the live stream, talk about lawns, right? Jerry Sobel says, one quick tip. After you spread out the sand on your lawn, make sure it's very dry before you use the brush. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Dry sand is way easier to spread than wet sand or damp sand, and that's just, forget even just working it in after you're done. Just transporting it and moving it is a lot easier if it's dry. So I completely, wholeheartedly agree with that, Jerry. That's actually another reason, like what you said, there's a good reason why whenever you order top dressing mix, whenever you order a leveling mix, if you can, you want them to sell it to you by volume, by like you want to say X number of yards of material versus by weight. Because if it's wet, like wet sand weighs a whole lot, more than dry sand. So if you get it by volume, then you're getting a yard, like a cubic yard of material versus saying you're getting, 1,500 pounds of material. Because if it's wet, you might not be getting that much actual usable product. You see what I'm saying? So great tip, Jerry. Thanks for sharing that. And I completely agree. Dry sand is way better to use than wet sand. T1000 says, hit the like. Please do, if you guys wouldn't mind. We got over 100 people in the live stream right now and only 70 likes. I appreciate the 70 likes, but if we can get that above 100, that would be great. Didn't cost you guys anything. It's completely free, and it's a great, great way to support the channel. So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button while I take a sip of my lemonade, because I got lemonade in the tank tonight, guys, and look for the next comment, I would really, really appreciate it. Nom nom. All right. Robert Rainey's here. He says, Thanks for adding the PGR chapter to the Golf Course Land Academy. You're very welcome, Roger. When you taper off the PGR end of season, do you still continue the carbon kit monthly for any extended period of time? Yeah, so what I'll do, Robert, is in October, what I'll do is let's say it's the lawn's beginning to check out, right? It's getting to the point where we're not going to do any more granular apps. I will spray like 901C and the carbon kit. So I'll just the liquids in the month of October, because you think about it, all you're really applying whenever you just do only the liquids is about 1/10 of a pound of nitrogen. So it's very light. It's hardly anything, just a taste, right? It's certainly not enough to push a lot of growth. So you have a couple of options. If your grass is still growing in October, like if you're somewhere where it's still growing, then you could back off the rate of whatever granular you're using. So you're giving the grass less nitrogen, and then still use the carbon kit as well. But yeah, as long as the grass is still growing, you can use the carbon kit, because it's really you're not really pushing a lot of growth. Really, the carbon kit is really about improving soil quality. And if you're using 901C or you're mixing Turfplex with it, you do get a little bit of nitrogen as well to maintain that consistent color and without pushing a lot of excessive growth. But yeah, that's a great option to switch to when you start moving away from granular fertilizers without really pushing above excessive growth like you would get if you continue with full rate granular apps. Does that make sense? And the calendar in the course should reflect that. If memory serves me, in October, the calendar should say to go use a reduced rate of whatever granular you're using, and then use the carbon kit. That's what it should say. I'm fairly certain, but I'll check after the live stream and make sure. But yeah, sir, I'm glad you found it useful, and I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. It was fun to make. You know what I mean? I want to do something special for you guys versus taking. I've talked about this topic of PGR several times, and there's content on YouTube, but I want to do something that's specific for you guys for that, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So I'm glad that you at least watched it and you're getting some value out of it. Half is here, and he says, what I really want is the Scott's Provista St. Augustine, but I just can't find it anywhere close. Yeah, I don't know on that one. I mean, I know in Florida, that's what Alan is using, I believe, is the Scott's Provista. Yeah, I'm not going to be any help for you on that one, unfortunately, Half. That's a big jump, though, to go, because the Provista is like an improved St. Augustine. To go from that to Bermuda is a pretty big jump. Are you sure you want Bermuda? Because you might just want to, really do some more digging, some more searching, and see if you can find the St. Augustine if that's what you really want. In other words, I mean, here's the thing. You asked me why Bermuda. I told you, but I mean, I'm not afraid to say that I'm a little bit biased, just a little bit biased. But it's not for everybody. If you like your St. Augustine and you just want to get an improved version of it, then keep searching. It is better. It would be better for you to spend a little bit more money and get the grass that you really want versus just settling for Bermuda if that's not what you really don't want. Because here's the thing, I'll tell you, once you put Bermuda in, it is very difficult to get rid of. Very, very difficult. So I would only switch away from St. Augustine if that's what you really want. So just kind of, I'm not trying to steer you away from Bermuda, but I'm trying to steer you towards a grass type that your heart calls to. All right. So if St. Augustine is it, then go with St. Augustine. All right. Next is Greg Lyon. He's back. He says, I have several trees that are blocking sunlight from my Bermuda, and that area is now sandy and bare. I'm going to trim my trees a few feet up, but I'm not sure if I should do it now or early spring. It doesn't matter. You can do it now. You can do it early spring. It doesn't really matter, Greg. Here's the thing. I would not, if you do it now, don't expect a big turnaround in the Bermuda between now and the end of the season. You might see a little bit coming back through, but really, I would, actually, the more I think about it, I would lean towards doing it more now than I would in the spring. Here's why. Because whenever springtime rolls around and, late February, early March, we start getting some heat, you want that heat, that sunlight to get down onto the grass, the area that's now bare, to give yourself a fighting chance for that Bermuda to come through, versus if you wait until March, April timeframe to start trimming the canopy back, you're already behind the curve on an area that is still likely to struggle anyway. We're just trying to see if by raising the canopy, we can get the grass there to grow at all. So I would want to front load getting sunlight on that area versus waiting until into spring of next year. Does that make sense? So I would do it now if it were me. But then again, I'm someone that cares about my grass a lot more than I do trees in the lawn, as is evidenced by my back lawn because there's no trees there. Hey man, we got Robbie in the house from Premier Lawn. What's going on, Robbie? He says, evening all. What's going on, sir? Thanks for coming to hang out, Robbie. So for any of you guys that are in the UK and want to see how lawn care is done across the pond, check out Robbie's channel, Premier Lawns. He does a really good job. I think he also has a Facebook group as well too. But yeah, check him out. He's a great guy. Puts out some really good content. And I appreciate you coming to hang out. Dude, it's got to be really late where you are. It's 8:30 here, so it's got to be past midnight, I imagine. But either rate, I appreciate you coming to hang out, Robbie. Thanks so much. Mary J says, hey, Ron, I made it into the new chat. Thanks, Mary. I apologize for the problems, the technical difficulties. Thanks so much for the answer. Hope you have a great holiday. Thank you so much, Mary. I was planning to do a lot of fun stuff in the lawn this weekend, but it looks like we might get rained out. I can check the forecast and see if it's changed, but likely it looks like rain. Looks like rain. Yep, it's raining now, and it's going to rain. Yeah, it's going to rain tomorrow. It's going to rain Sunday. It's going to rain Monday. It's going to, yeah, whatever. Depressing, right? Rain, and more rain. But at least, hey, Dutch Grand Prix tomorrow, right? So if you want to see some good Formula One, tune in tomorrow. Watch qualifying, and then Sunday will be awesome, right? I appreciate that, Mary. Next is Koi Guy. He says, good evening, everyone. Rain for the weekend in Jonesboro. I may try to get the coastal in before the rain starts. Yeah, so that's a good point. So guys, if you guys are in Georgia, Northeast Georgia, or really probably anywhere in the state's going to get rain, and you are thinking about getting your pre-emergent down, now would be a great time to do it. My plan was to film a video or do a live stream showing you guys how I would do that and, do it this weekend. But I'm not going to be able to do that because electronics and water don't really mix. So I can't really do that this weekend unless I get like a break in the weather. But yeah, with all the free water about to get here over the next few days, if you want to get your pre-emergent app down, it's not a bad idea. You're going to save yourself some money from watering it in, and really nothing beats good old Mother Nature as far as watering in your pre-emergent, right? So good tip, Koi Guy. Thanks for the heads up on that. It's a really good point. If you're planning to do your pre-emergent, this weekend's a great time to do it because we're going to get rain for the next few days if the forecast is to be believed. Mike Harvey's up next. He says, hi, Ron. Do you recommend raising height of cut for the winter? I'm in upstate South Carolina. I have a McLean, so my only option is to raise like 1/4 of an inch. It seems so high. So I'm not sure what height of cut you are at, Mike Harvey. I'm not sure if you saw my comment earlier or my answer to the question the person had earlier. So I'll tell you what I've done. You're in upstate South Carolina, so for all intents and purposes, your grass or your weather is just like my weather. I have let my Bermuda go into dormancy as low as 1/2 inch or just under 1/2 inch. And it went through that just fine. So last year when I went into dormancy, it was around 1/2 inch, and there was no issue whatsoever. There was really no damage to the lawn. It tolerated it just fine. Keep in mind though, over the course of the entire winter, we got like 1 day of snow here in Georgia, and it was only for like 1 day. 2 days later, it melted out. It was gone. So we don't get really, really cold winters that where the cold weather sticks around for an extended period of time. So I'm not sure what your height of cut is now. You didn't tell me, but if you're in that 3/4 of an inch area, I would feel comfortable with that. I would feel good with that. You know what I mean? A lot of the golf courses around here are Bermuda fairways, and they're not raising the height of cut up, much past 3/4 of an inch into the winter at all. You know what I mean? So the lawn tolerates it just fine. Again, like I said, I've taken my lawn down as low as 1/2 inch, no problem. And this year it will go into dormancy at 3/4 of an inch, and I will leave it there all the way until spring of next year when I scalp the lawn. So I'm not sure where you're starting out, but if you're telling me you're cutting at, 1/4 of an inch, like 0.25, then yeah, maybe raising it up to 1/2 inch or 5/8 is a good idea. Cause I've never personally maintained Bermuda that low. And because I've never maintained it that low, I don't know how it would tolerate going into winter at those very, very low cutting heights. But 1/2 inch or taller, you should be just fine, given that your climate is very similar to the climate that we have here in Northeast Georgia. So hope that helps, sir. If you have any other questions, definitely let me know. Higgy pops in the live stream. He says, hey, Ron, happy Friday. What's going on, Higgy? Thanks for coming hang out in the live stream, sir. Appreciate you as always. And then Greg says, you do an amazing job in keeping disruptions down. Well, I have help. It's not just me. Whenever someone comes in, the trolls come in, or the trolls are having come in to try and disrupt the show, because it happens. We have a team of people. We have a team of people, a crack squad that's just sitting there, just sitting there with their finger on the ban button, and they don't play. I mean, they don't, you know, I tell you guys to touch the like button gently. When it comes to the ban button, they have no tolerance. They don't play. They don't mess around. They're worse than I am. So we try to keep it nice, because if there's a lot of drama and crap going on in the live, in the comments, it's gonna mess up the experience for you guys, and that's not what I want, right? I want you guys to have a good time, and without having, you know, people, trolls just being ridiculous in the show. So it's not just me. I have a lot of help, and I appreciate all the help that I do get. Because anytime I Zoom or do a Teams meeting and I present, all heck breaks loose each time. No doorbells, dogs, or kids are yelling. No, yeah, so this, where I am is in my office. It's, I mean, some of you guys have seen pictures of what it looks like from the side, but it's the area that I am in is like, it's a part of the house that really no one really needs to come around for the most part. So that's why it stays fairly quiet. And for any like TV or background noise or like light noises going on, I have some processing that's happening live that will take a lot of that out. So any like you know, fan noise or any constant like humming noise, you guys notice you don't really hear that. All you hear is my voice. There's some software. There's not really software. It's a combination of software and hardware that I use to make sure that that doesn't come across in the show, because it's annoying, right? So I do my best, man. I try and make it as good as I can for you guys. I don't always get it right, but I do my best to try and make it as good an experience as I possibly can. Travis Dougherty is back. He says, what's the best spray to kill grass in bushes and flower beds? What kind of grass? It depends. Like when it comes to killing stuff, the answer is always, you know what, like it depends. If it's Bermuda, so I'll answer this question as if you have Bermuda. So you have Bermuda that's gotten into your flower beds. And in that case, I do like the combination of glyphosate and fusilade. That works really well. When you say bushes, there's, I mean, that's a very broad, you know, spectrum of things. I mean, there is brush killer. There are products that are brush killer products. I can show you here. Let's see if I can take you back here. That they call it from even like from Spectricide, they carry it. And a lot of them have diaquat. Yeah, a lot of them have diaquat in them. So this stuff right here, and again, this, for if you're just jumping in the live stream and you're watching this, what I'm about to bring on screen, do not spray what you're about to see on your grass. This is not for grass. This is for areas that you have like mulch beds, for areas that you are trying to do a non-selective kill off. So you're trying to get rid of, you know, bushes, shrubs, you know, Bermuda, like things like that. So what I'm going to show you is this, which is a Spectricide product that has several different herbicides in it. So you've got diaquat, which is one that I'm very familiar with, Fusel Pop, and then dicamba. So this is a pretty potent mix as far as being more of a brush type killer product. I am not personally a fan of diaquat because it's so aggressive that a lot of times it burns the leaf off before the grass or whatever you're trying to kill really gets a chance to take it up. So in other words, it messes up it works a bit too well for what it does, which is why you'll notice when I did my that combination for getting rid of Bermuda in the flower beds, I didn't include diaquat. I did Roundup or glyphosate and fusilade. It's a little bit slower process, but as far as a better one that allows the herbicide to be absorbed and really get into the entire plant and kill it, I find that to be better. But as far as like frankly dropping it out on bomb and whatever you spray it on, this will work. But again, be very, very careful, Travis. This stuff, don't get it on your flowers. Don't get it on anything that's a plant that you want to be alive. Don't get this stuff on it because it will damage and or kill it. So that's something to keep in mind. So hope that helps, sir. One thing I'll tell you that if you want a little tip, I don't have any. Yeah, actually, I do right here. I got a small piece of cardboard. Oh, I'm gonna knock this off the wall. I'm not. So if you're trying to shield, if you're trying to kind of be careful, be more selective about where you get this stuff on, get a piece of cardboard, so kind of like this. I mean, this is too small, but get something a little bigger than this and use it as a shield. So obviously wear your PPE, make sure you got like, you know, latex, your gloves on, you're wearing long sleeves and everything like that. And then you can say if you have the thing we want to kill, if I can do it this way, the thing we want to kill is on this side, and the stuff that we want to keep is on this side. We use this as a barrier, and that way you can put this down in between. You can spray, and you can limit how much of the herbicide gets onto the product or the plants that you're trying to keep. Now, some of these products, whenever when they get in the soil, they can be absorbed that way too. But by keeping it off the foliar, you're limiting how much damage the plants you do want to keep are going to suffer from this type of product. So just something that you can keep in mind. Little tip there to kind of manage where this stuff gets. So hope that helps, sir. And if I can help with anything else, definitely let me know. And you said, yeah, okay, yeah. So I'm seeing your comment down here. You said, okay, to kill Bermuda in bushes and flower beds, like over the top of fruit alarm. Okay, yeah. So in that case, what I would say is use glyphosate and Fusilade. That would be my option. It's a little bit more expensive, a little bit more pricey option, but it's going to work better. And you're not gonna, it's gonna be a bit slower working, but it's going to do a better job killing the Bermuda. So if it's only Bermuda you're trying to target, I like glyphosate and Fusilade. That's my personal preference. So hope that helps. Actually, what I'll do here is I'll send you a link to both the products that I use. So there is a 41% glyphosate product called Eraser. It's kind of a cool name, kind of like that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. You guys ever see that movie way back in the 90s, Eraser, where he has like the rail guns? It's kind of a cool, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's fun. It's a fun watch. It's like 90s action. All right. So this is the glyphosate product. And then for the Fusilade, I've already given you guys that, but this is the link for the Fusilade. This is a great combination for Bermuda grass in mulch beds and like what you're trying to do. Do not, I repeat, do not spray this on your lawn. Do not spray this on your grass, on your lawn. Anywhere where you have grass and you want to keep it, do not spray this combination. This is only for sidewalks, driveways, mulch beds, flower beds, areas where the Bermuda's gotten where you don't want it to be and where you're going to take precautions to ensure that it only gets on the Bermuda. All right. All my disclaimers have been given. Hopefully you will heed them, Travis. Good luck. Let me know how you get on. Next up is Zoysia versus Bermuda. He says, I just sent it now. LOL, sorry, I forgot to hit send. You did. Let me see here. I'm not sure if I see it. Zoysia versus Bermuda. I'm not sure. Maybe I did. I don't see. Yeah, I don't see. Oh yeah, I see the stuff from Travis. I don't see unless you're Eric, then it's then the only ones I have is that and the ones from Greg. So guys, you guys want to see Greg's leveling project? Like what kind of, like how heavy it was. So take a look here. I'll show you guys really quick if you guys want to see what a heavy top dressing job looks like. And I'm imagining that this picture is recent because he said it was done a couple of weeks ago. So we'll see if it pops in here in a second. And you'll be able to see it's again, this is heavier than I might do, Greg, but I'll tell you, I can see through the sand, and that's going to look really good when the grass does grow through it. Because what I'm seeing already is the lawn looks fairly smooth, and when the Bermuda finally does come through that sand, it's going to look really nice. It's going to be very smooth. So yeah, it is heavier than I normally would, but I personally would do. But it's going to look nice once it goes through, man. It's going to, and you still have enough time. You've got this entire month. You got the entire month of September. And the nice thing I'm seeing about this picture that I'd really like is that it looks like it's wide open. I don't see a lot of trees. There's plenty of direct sunlight. So I believe you're going to get, again, I stand by the end of September. You should be looking a lot better. You should be looking fairly solid. Good stuff. Thanks for sending those pictures. And next up is T1000, says the shade. Yep, there you go. And then Chewy Chew says, I hate tall fescue. It's invading my Kentucky bluegrass. Yeah, sorry. Sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. And next up is Timothy Smith. He says, thanks for the tip, Ron. I will order from your link. I appreciate that, Timothy. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And then next up is Fairway Bermuda Lawn. Daryl's in the house. He says, what's up, Ron and everyone? Hey, I got a 25-inch McLean mowed today. And he says, it's nice. Now, Daryl, did you post that on your YouTube channel? I think you did. So guys, if you don't know, Fairway Bermuda, Daryl, he's a channel that he started last year. He puts out some really good content. And if you want to see a new McLean that he just got, his new hardware, definitely go check the channel out. So thanks for that, Daryl. Send me a picture of it, man. If you get a picture, I'll show everyone on the live stream. I'll show them your new hardware. If you want to show Bay off, we can get everyone to get a look at it. All right, Sean Chafin. It's a good one. It's a good question. I like this question. He says, can you put down fertilizer followed by weed killer on the same day? You can. You absolutely can. I've done it. No problem at all. And the order is exactly how I would do it. I would do the fertilizer first, and I would do the weed killer afterward. I would do the herbicide afterwards. The reason why, it's not like there's anything magic about doing them in that particular order, but the reason why I prefer that, Sean, is the last thing you want to do is spray the lawn with herbicides and then be like walking all through the lawn with like your broadcast spreader, or walking through it again with your backpack sprayer, that you just sprayed herbicides all over, right? Because I mean, and even though herbicides, if you're wearing the proper PPE, you're wearing shoes with socks, long pants, long shirt, gloves, all this kind of stuff, you're going to be just fine. It just makes sense that the stuff that you don't want to have on your skin, minimize how much time you're spending in it. You know what I mean? So in that case, I would do your fertilizer first and then follow up with your herbicide afterwards. So fertilizer, then herbicide, and then get off the lawn, let it dry. And if it's post-emergent, take a shower and sit back and relax, watch the game or whatnot, guys. So there you go. You can do them both on the same day. You could do that. You could actually, if you wanted to, you could do fertilizer, you could do an insecticide, and you could do herbicide on the same day. You could do, they're different products. You could do them. Yes, to answer your question, yes. The answer is yes. But I would always lean towards doing the sides last. Anything with side in it, so stuff like herbicide, fungicide, insecticide, do those last. Get your fertilizer down first. That's the sequence that I like to do things. Next is Timothy Smith. He says Zoysia is only in the back. The front is Bermuda. Okay, so Zoysia in the back, front is Bermuda. Cool. We'll send some pics. It's still on fire. Bermuda for life. I like it. Awesome. Next up is Greg Lyon. Says, how did you get my shipment, Peoria, and a flagship 2406 to my house so quickly? It took 2 days, and I think it came from South Carolina. Man, listen, I can't tell you all the trade secrets. Are you pleased that it got there in time and that it was very, very quick? If so, then just be happy that it got there quickly and enjoy your flagship, your 2406. All jokes aside, Greg, we try to ship stuff as quickly as possible. Really, I know when it comes to lawn care products, you guys, when you order it, if you're like me, I hit send and I'm like already looking, just waiting for my tracking information. When is it gonna start moving? When is it gonna start coming my way? So I just think about the experience that I would want to have whenever I order something, and I'd want to get it as quickly as I can. Obviously delivered safely and non-damaged, and that's what we try and replicate. We don't always get it right, but that's what we aim for. More often, more times than not. So I'm glad that we hit the mark and that we got you got your product out and to you in a timely manner, which is great. The only negative to that, right, is that's why you'll see all over the store, and especially in our shipping policy, it's like really we can't once you place an order, you got like a couple of hours to let me know if you need to cancel it. So if someone makes a mistake, like the other day, someone ordered some prodiamine and they wanted dithiopyr. And fortunately, they placed the order when it was at nighttime, right? So I woke up in the morning, checked my email, and I was up at 5:30, and I said, "Oh, this order came." This person says, "Hey, can you please cancel this? I want to get something different." And because it happened at night, and obviously the people at the warehouse don't work at nighttime, was able to cancel it, pull that order. But if you happen to order it, say 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and then you wait till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, let me know, hey, I want to do something different. Likely it's already been boxed up and is on its way out the door, on its way to you. So there's pros and cons to it, but I'm glad that you are happy with the service, Greg, and it really, really makes me happy. So if and when you get a request for a review, please let us know how we did. It really does help out. Thin Cut says, hey, Ron, how much time between applications of Fusilade would be best? I put some in my Zoysia yesterday. 4 was, I'm not sure what 4 was. I would 3 weeks. The person that did it last year, they waited 3 weeks between applications. They did one, and then 3 weeks later, they did another app. And that produced a really good result, Thin Cut. So 3 weeks in between applications. So if you did it yesterday, then we'll just say the beginning of September, because that was the beginning of September. Then the 3rd week of September, so 3 weeks, 3 weeks from now, is when you could do your follow-up application, if you like. All right. Next is Travis Dougherty. He says, how do I send you my fertilizer application and pre-emergent date so you can help me tweak it? So, you can email them to me, but really, I'll tell you, a lot of what we do, a lot of that stuff is stuff that we do in the course, Travis. So, actually if you go to golfcourselawn.com or on the store, the Golf Course Lawn Academy, the paid course with the Facebook group, which is really one of the best parts about it. That stuff in there is where I do that kind of thing. On the store, you can see a very a very basic, a generic calendar that has a lot of probably what you're looking for, will answer a lot of the questions that you're looking for. So if you go to the golf course lawn store and just click on blog, and then scroll down and scroll down and scroll down and scroll down and go to the step-by-step guide for getting a golf course lawn. And if you scroll down and scroll down and scroll down and scroll down, if you want to read it, you should, because it's a really good one. Got lots of tons of great info in this one. But if you scroll down and scroll down at the bottom, you will find a basic calendar that you can follow that many people have followed and gotten a good result with, right? So if you don't want to join the academy and you just want like a good base schedule to go with as far as like timing for pre-emergent and for like how I do a lawn care program, this gives you a month-by-month breakdown starting in March on doing soil testing, doing your pre-emergent, beginning to fertilize, month by month when you do your insecticides, your carbon kit applications, all the way through October. And yeah, so I thought that was right, Robert. I know you were asking me about as far as when I begin to taper off. So there you go. So in October, I show reducing the amount of nitrogen that's going into the lawn. So that is correct. And this just carry over to what's in the course. So yeah, so to answer your question, Travis, go to this link. I'll actually just put it in the chat for you to make it easy. Why not? Why not make it easy, right? We like easy. So at Travis, where is it? At Travis Dougherty, and that link at the very bottom has the calendar that will, that you can use as a basis. You can really tweak off of that, because anything you send me, it's going to be, that's what I'm going to refer you to and say, hey, look at this, and that's going to get you on the right path as far as what I would recommend. Good stuff. All right, Greg said I just sent the leveling job pics on 8/17/22 at 6:39 p.m. I'll send an update of what it looks like now. Cool. Sounds good, Greg. So yeah, so if that's what it looked like the 17th, that was 2 weeks ago, it should be better. I mean, it should be growing through now. I don't have any new emails from you as yet, but I mean, that's, again, I stand by the end of this month, that should be looking a lot better. Should be looking much, much, much better. And then Todd said, yes, it was smooth this year. Thinking blade may have dulled. Possible, yeah. So that's something, Todd. So if you are finding that the color is going away in the lawn a little bit, so instead of it being the nice green that it was, now it's kind of it has like a dull look to it, and almost like yellowish, but just a dull. That very well could be your equipment is not sharp anymore. You can get down and look at the grass and see. If you look at the tips of the grass blades, it should be a clean cut. If there's any kind of tearing or a telltale sign whenever a rear mower also needs sharpening is you'll find the grass tips will get pinched and like elongated. It's almost like you pinched the grass and then you stretched it. If you start seeing that, that's a good indicator that your mower needs to be sharpened. It definitely needs to be sharpened, because what's happening then is when the grass is being trapped between the reel and the bed knife, it's not sharp enough to cut it, and all it's doing is it's just pinching it, and as the reel spins, it's like stretching it out, almost like if you were stretching spaghetti or some kind of pasta. It's like the same kind of thing. So take a look at the grass and see if it looks like that. If you're seeing any kind of frayed tips, or if you're seeing any of the grass tips where it looks like it's stretched, those are both signs that point to the mower needing to be sharpened. Your equipment is not sharp anymore. So that is what I would recommend. That is what I would recommend. And Greg sent me a before of where he was. So yeah, man, you're making a lot of progress. You're making a ton of progress. So I'll show you guys here really quick. You guys saw the picture of where he was after, where he is now. And this is where Greg was before. So yeah, you made a lot of progress, man. So if that's where you were before and this is where you are now, that's a lot of progress in a couple of weeks, right? So there to there, that's good. I mean, that's a lot of progress. So I would, again, by the end of this month, it should be looking much better. Just keep the faith, keep on it. It's going to grow through. It'll be just fine. The grass is not going to look bad the rest of this year. Doug 350Z, that is twin turboed, is here. He says, hey, Ron, hope all is great with you. It's not bad. Is this question, Spectacle G versus Spectacle Flow? I've never used Spectacle G. I imagine it would work just fine too. I've only used Spectacle Flow, but I imagine it would be just as good. It would. So just really, it's really your call. So, but Spectacle Flow, I think I believe is better value as far as what you pay versus the coverage you get. They're both expensive, but whichever one is easier for you to apply is what you should go with, Doug. So yeah. Next up is Greg Lyon. He says, I just sent my pictures after leveling as of this evening. Yes, I got both pics, Greg. We just showed your before. So this looks like after the top dressing service had come on and done the work, which it looks a lot like a sand lot. And this is what it looks like now, which I think is great progress. So again, like I said, just stick with it. It's going to look even better in the next few weeks there. Next up is Zoysia versus Bermuda. Says, thank you so much, Ron. Much appreciated. You're very, very welcome. Thank you for asking awesome questions. We got Robert Majoros in the live stream tonight. Say, hey, Ron, good evening. Thanks for coming to hang out, sir. Really appreciate you in the live stream as always. Next up is Rusty's Creations. He says, hey, Ron, as you know, the rain came back to Texas. Now, I haven't read the rest of it yet, but please tell me you're not complaining. Okay, let's go on. Because within 2 weeks, the lawn went from 75% brown, dormant, from record drought and heat to almost completely fill back in. Bermuda is truly the alpha grass. It is, man. I tell you, all it needs is heat, which you guys had plenty of, sunlight, which it sounds like you had plenty of, and it does need a bit of water. So you finally got that. You finally got the last little bit of an ingredient there, and it took off. So I'm glad to hear that you guys in Texas are finally getting some rain, which is good, because for a while there, the show was there's a whole lot of belly aching going on as far as, Mother Nature doesn't like us, and you in Georgia, y'all are hogging up all the rainfall and all this kind of stuff. So I'm glad you're getting water. And I agree with you. Bermuda really is the alpha grass. That's why I can say with utmost confidence that even though Greg's lawn looks like that before and looks like this now, it's going to bounce back and it's going to look incredible here by the end of this month. It's going to be looking really nice. And then next season, even better. Even better. We got Devin in the house. He says, what's up, Ron? Looking forward to some good turf talk. Thanks for coming to hang out, Devin. Appreciate you as always, sir. I know I keep bugging you about coming on the show, but I know you guys are you're doing housing construction and everything else going on. I know life stuff. I know, I get it. But I've forgotten. Maybe during the winter, whenever things kind of slow down a little bit, maybe then, depending on where the house is and everything else, you can drop in, even if it's only for like an hour. You don't have to say the entire show. You can just pop in for a little while just to say hey, and we can ask you some very pointed questions about constructing a golf green and a lawn, like any tips you'd give us on that kind of thing. You can just do that. It'd be really cool. All right, next up is Drew. Drew says he's in Central North Carolina. Thanks for that, Drew. I think so yeah, the answer I gave you does apply, because again, we're close enough that our climates are it's gonna be close enough. Next up, we got Troy Ridley Photography. He says, hey, Ron, we finally got some rain in Central Texas, and my Bermuda is coming back in from the heat stress. Thank God. Still battling nutsedge, though. Urgh. Well, like you and like Rusty, I'm glad to hear that you guys are getting rain. We'll clap it up for that. Thanks, party time. All right. Yay for rain. Yay for all the rain. If you're battling nutsedge, what I would recommend is certainty. So I'm going to show you here really quick. As far as, in my opinion, people will disagree with me, but in my opinion, the best product, the best post-emergent herbicide for warm season grass for killing POA and for killing sedges, this stuff, certainty. This is the Mac Daddy. And it kills other stuff too. You got dandelions. But killing dandelions is not really an accomplishment. Dandelions are pretty easy to kill. There's a lot of stuff that kills dandelions. But POA, not so easy to get rid of. All these sedges, not so easy to get rid of. And it's just, and then much, much more. The product label has a bunch of other stuff that I didn't list here in the product description because it would be really long and annoying to read. But if you have sedges, Troy, and you want to get rid of them, get certainty. I would get certainty, and I would get some surfactant, such as these two, this and this. And within 10 days, you'll start seeing the sedges begin to yellow really badly. And certainly within 3 weeks, it'll be burnt dead to a crisp. So I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So if we scroll down here, it is hard to do because of the window size, but if you look at, this is POA in a lawn, but you don't really care about that. What you care about is sedges. So you got sedges being sprayed with certainty. This is actually the Celsius certainty combination. And then here we are 7 days later, and you see what it looks like. So just within a week, it's discolored really badly. And then within a couple of weeks, if I had taken another picture, which I should have done, it's literally all brown and dead. It looks like a brown paper bag. It looks completely dead, and like you could kick it over and it just turns to dust. So as far as, in my opinion, like if you have sedges in your warm season grass in St. Augustine, in Bermuda, in Zoysia, and you want to get rid of it, get Certainty. Like that is a herbicide to use for that. Anything else is going to be a compromise. Even Sedgehammer is not a bad product, but really with Certainty, any of the sedges, any of the kalingas, it will take care of. So now that you're getting rain, you know what you need to do if you want to get rid of the sedges in your lawn. So hope that helps, sir. Glad to hear that you guys in Texas are getting rainfall. Pretty awesome. Next up is not Wayne's World, but Dwayne's World. And guys, here's the thing. We have another lawn care YouTube channel being born. Dwayne launched a YouTube channel. I'm not sure if it was today or yesterday, but he did his first video, and I believe it was on his new McLean that he got. It's because it's a new 25-inch McLean. Is that right, Dwayne? But on the play of Wayne's World, the name of his channel is Dwayne's World. So get out there, give Dwayne some love. Check out his new video where he shows off his new hardware. We got to clap it up for you as well for this, Dwayne. Yeah, give him some love and show him some support, because YouTube is a lot of work, and it's it's tough to put yourself out there like that and put a lot of work into making a video. So definitely give him some support. Next up is Nicholas Jasmine from Central Louisiana, where he says, I'm from Central Louisiana as well. Fungus is a great reason to get rid of St. Augustine. I did just that. Yeah, so again, if you like a taller grass that's crunchy, like that crunchy crunch, then St. Augustine is, it's a good option for warm season grass type. But Bermuda, more disease resistant. You can mow it shorter. It looks like it can look like a golf course if you want it to. It's really hard to kill. There's just tons of benefits to it. The thing with Bermuda, unfortunately, there's some areas in Florida, there's some neighborhoods where you're not even allowed to have it because it's so aggressive. It'll spread into other lawns, and it's really difficult to get rid of. Because whereas killing other grass types in Bermuda, other than Bermuda, is relatively easy to do, killing Bermuda in other grass types, not so easy to do, right? So if you got like cool season grass, or you have Zoysia, then you can use something like Fusilade to get rid of Bermuda in it. But if you have, like St. Augustine and Bermuda infiltrates it, heaven help you. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to do. All right, next up is JD Mitz. He says, Mr. Ron, is Arden 15 completely discontinued? Yep, it is. As far as I know, it's discontinued. You can't get it anymore. And if you find it anywhere online, I really would be leery about buying it, because I don't know how fresh whatever you find really would be at this point. So yeah, it is discontinued. And so just wait until the next cultivar they come out with which I imagine they should be launching before next year, I would think. Like, it makes sense to me. But yeah, it is discontinued. And he says, I've been reading from others. It says it's just unavailable to supply issues. So I've heard it's been discontinued. Like if you call Hancock Seed down in Lakeland, Florida, that's what I was told, and I've seen it in other places too. If it's not discontinued and just out right now for supply issues, that could be a thing. But from everything I've heard is that it's actually gone away. That's what I've heard. But I mean, it'd be cool if it came back, because it does look pretty nice. It really does. All right, next up is 2 Trilla. It says, hey, Ron, do you think Syngenta will ever make Headway SC? And if they do, would you still use the granular over the liquid? Yeah, if they did Headway SC, I've mentioned it to them, and I don't think at this time they have any interest in doing that. Because you got to realize, guys, like, you would think that putting something like a Celiprin or in a small bottle like this is pretty easy. You've already got the bottle made up, and then you just take the Headway and just use the same bottle and pour it in here, and away you go. But you got to remember, Syngenta's like a multi-billion-dollar company. It's a huge corporation. So even doing something as simple as this, as simple as like putting a product that's in a big, I think it comes in 2.5 gallons, in a big, much bigger volumes in a smaller volume, means now you have to redo the label. The lawyers have to get all over it. It has to be, checked and rechecked, and just it's not as simple as just creating a Headway label, slapping it on this bottle, and filling it up and start shipping it. And from what I have been told when I asked about it, because I already have this year, I've asked them, hey, why don't you guys do Headway in a small in a smaller 4 ounce? From what I was told, there's not any plans to do that at this time. You can get Heritage, of all things, in a smaller one. So if you just want just propiconazole, you can get that in the smaller 4 ounce. But Headway, unfortunately, is not yet available in that size. Maybe in time, we just keep asking and begging and pleading, they might eventually do it. But from the last answer I got, which was as of a few months ago, was there's no plans to do it at this time. Would I still use the granular over the liquid? If I could get the liquid, I would probably do the liquid because it's frankly it's just easier. It's like storing, like this is the same as a 25-pound bag of Acelyprin, of Acelyprin G. So like this small little thing which can fit on a shelf. You don't have like a big bag you have to store somewhere. This is easier to cap off and make sure that it stays sealed. You don't have to worry about it staying dry like you do with the granular as much. As far as coverage, it's about the same. If you apply it at the rates that I recommend, you get about the same coverage out of it. You get 22,000 square feet out of this at the 0.20 rate. And with the granular, it's around the same thing. It's like 21,000 somewhere. So all intents and purposes around the same. But with the liquid, the thing that you get is more control over application rates. It's easier to control whether if you're treating a particular fungus and the label says, for this particular fungus, apply this rate, then you're able to do that easier with a liquid than you are with the granular. So for that reason, I'm a fan of the liquid. But at the same time, I wouldn't go out and buy like a big, I'm not sure if it comes in gallon or 2.5 gallon jugs. That's way too much fungicide for residential use for a home lawn, unless you got a really big property. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe one day. But the last answer I got is not yet. They didn't say never, but not right now. All right, Benjamin Kane says, fire content and info as usual. I appreciate you, Benjamin. Says, not trying to pry, but what is your day job? What is my day job? I get the sense of an engineer, possibly. If you have hybrid Bermuda and wanted another strain of Bermuda, could you overseed? I'm not a fan of doing that. So on my lawn, I started out with Tifway 419 and I had a couple of trees removed and I put down Princess 77 because I'll tell you the entire story. So along with Tifway 419, when the trees were removed, a Tifway 419 sod was supposed to be put in. However, whatever sod went in did not look anything like the existing lawn. It looked like it was visually different. So even though it was Tifway 419 sod, it was a different type of Tifway 419 or maybe it was just something else. So instead of killing it off, which if I could do it all over again, that's probably what I would have done. I would have just killed off that area or dug up that area and then just plugged it because then it would match perfectly. I first seeded that area with Princess 77 and then subsequently with Arden 15. So I said, well, since it's not going to match anyway, I'm going to make it look even where it doesn't match throughout. So at least it looks like it's going to become like a mutt lawn of sorts. And after a few years of doing that, I've accomplished that to where the lawn looks fairly even now. There's still a few areas you can see slight differences in color for the most, and textures, like very, very, very slight. But after several years of doing this, just letting the grass grow and kind of spread throughout, it's looking a lot more even now. So I would not say, I'm not a fan. In other words, I would not recommend that. If you don't like the existing lawn you have now and you want to change to a different grass type, I would go through a renovation. It's going to be less frustrating and you're going to get the result that you want to get faster. So kill the existing grass. So say you have like Tifway 419, right? And you say, you know what? I can't stand Tifway. I don't like it anymore. I saw this new grass type called Tahoma and I really want to do that. What you would do is kill off your existing lawn. It's going to look hideous for a while, but then once it's dead, then you can bring in the new hybrid that you want, the new sod that you want, and that's going to give you a much better chance of getting an even lawn with the same grass type throughout versus trying to introduce multiple different types of seed. So there's that. As far as my day job, I work in the information security space, so I've done that. I've worked in IT professionally since 97. I know, old man, getting old. Since 97, and for the last 15 years, a little longer than that, I've been mainly working on information security in the information security space. So the first part of my career in information security, I did penetration testing. So I was someone that companies would pay to break into their environment. So kind of like the best job in the world, right? You get to hack into environments and they pay you for it. And then after that got boring because, after a while, you begin doing the same thing over and over and over. It's the same techniques as you used to get in. I took on the more challenging role of defending networks. So if you think about it, right? Who better to defend a house than the guy or girl that knows a lot of the ways to break into it, right? So that's where I took a lot of the knowledge that I had from penetration testing and then started doing work to defend environments, to defend networks. And that's what I've been doing since 2013, 2014, thereabouts. So yes, right now I lead a team that's what our job is to do that, to prevent bad things from happening in the environments that we protect. Pretty much to stay out of the news, right? To not become famous, because in the information security space, if you want to become famous, if your name becomes known, it's normally something bad has happened. If that's the case, so yeah, I'm a tech guy with that focuses on information security on the defensive side these days, but I've done both. All right. You're very, very welcome, Travis. He says, thank you, Ron. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Travis. Thanks for coming to hang out. And the funny thing about that, while I look for the next comment, is having worked in that field is it makes you very, a lot of people think that I'm very paranoid, but like a lot of technologies that people just unknowingly just install in their house, like the electronic door locks and like a lot of the stuff and like the wireless the cameras that go out to the cloud, like a lot of that stuff I won't even touch because I've been hired by companies to test that kind of stuff before. So I know a lot of the problems with it and I just don't, I don't trust it. So it makes me, it's not paranoia. It's a greater understanding of reality than the average person. How's that? All right, next up is a super chat we got here from Melly Mel. Thank you so much, Melly. I really do appreciate it.
Super chat received.
He says, hi, Ron. I was told Barricade would be better than Prodiamine as a pre-emergent. Any thoughts? They are one in the same in many ways, Melly. So the carriers are slightly different, but the active ingredient in Barricade is Prodiamine. Unless it's changed, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So the carriers are different, kind of like the carriers that are in Primo, right? The active ingredient in Primo is Trinexapac ethyl, which is the same active ingredient that say it's in Tenex, right? But the carriers that are in this are different. The carriers that are in Barricade are different than are in your generic Prodiamine product. But the active ingredient is the same thing. So yes, hopefully that helps. All right, next up, let me look for my next comment here. Is Devin. He says, well, actually, no, let me get back here while I look for that. Devin says, hopefully I'll be able to, my schedule will allow me to get back on the stream soon. Follow aeration next week at the course, and my schedule will slow down a lot. Definitely want to share the renovation I did on my in-laws' lawn this summer. Definitely, that sounds awesome, man. Hopefully you get all the pictures and you can show us, because we definitely want to check that out for sure. That's pretty cool. That's really cool, Devin. Let me know, man. You know how to get a hold of me. Let me know. We'll make it happen. We will make it happen. All right, next up is JD Mitz, where he says, I'm trying to seed a big soccer field size lawn. Hopefully you can recommend a good blend just south of the border with Texas, same weather as South Texas. So you're trying to do a soccer field. What kind? So I guess you want are you trying to do Bermuda? Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, it depends on what kind you want, what you want to do. You could do, with Arden 15 gone, a lot of people have been going to Yukon. A lot of people like that. Yukon, there's Rio, there's several different types, but a lot of people seem to be moving towards Yukon as a seed for Bermuda now that Arden 15 isn't available. If you're not in a rush, which it sounds like you might be, if you're not in a rush and you want to wait to see what Pennington is going to release, you could do that. But if not, Yukon is an option as well. JD. Unfortunately, you can't get Arden anymore. Hopefully the soccer field also has irrigation, so you're going to be able to water in, make sure you keep enough water on whatever grass seed you put down so that it grows in. But yeah, man, that's what I would say. Just pick any of them. Any of them are going to be fine. They're all going to be relatively disease and wear resistant. So for a soccer field, Bermuda should do really well. It shouldn't be a problem at all. And because it's a soccer field, there's going to be plenty of sunlight. So yeah, just pick one that you like. You look into Yukon is what I would say. Next up, okay, we already answered Tuchillo's question about headway. Around headway, we got Devin, and then next up we got Henry Smith. Says, thank you, Ron, for sharing your knowledge on lawn care. You're very welcome, Henry. I appreciate you coming to hang out. Because if you weren't here, I wouldn't have anyone to share it with. I'd just be talking to myself, which I do sometimes. But it's more fun to talk to you guys. Jesus Prado is here. He's chiming in. He's saying, I would recommend Rio Bermuda or Monaco. So I did say Rio or Monaco Bermuda. They are both great seed, but pretty expensive. If you can find Arden 15, that's what I would go for. But again, Arden is tough to find now, man. I don't know if you're going to find any that's actually new or fresh, right? And yeah, and to the only thing I would add on to Jesus's comment is, like I said earlier, is water. Make sure you have a way to water it to get the most out of your seeding project. Because the last thing you want to do is spend all that money on grass seed, not put water on it, and then all that time and money gets wasted. All right. Next up is Josh Bronco. Josh says, I scalped last week in North Carolina from 1 inch to ½ inch. It is greening up nicely. I noticed hundreds of grub mounds from simply watering. I hit it with Duocide, and the amount of grubs that came up was insane. Wow. Interesting. So you had a lot of grubs, and then just the watering, it brought them to the surface, huh? Interesting. Well, it looks like you got rid of it, man. And I'm glad to hear that even with the scalp from 1 inch to ½ inch, that you're already getting that green to come back, which is really cool. Really cool, Josh. Keep going. Sounds like you I got a plan as well for getting rid of the grubs as well too. So keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing. All right. Next up is Brad Johnson. He says, "Get to the chopper." You watching Schwarzenegger, huh? You're like, what movie was that? Is it Commando? I forget what movie it was. He actually did that where he gets the infamous "gets the chopper" line. All right. Mike Harvey says, "I'm sure you already answered this already, but which spray tip do you use the prodiamine cocktail?" Sure, Mike. I did, but I can answer it again. No problems at all. So the spray tip for prodiamine, for any pre-emergent. So prodiamine, if you're spraying liquid dithiopyr, if you're spraying spectacle flow, if you're spraying fungicide or anything like that, or an insecticide, anything that needs to get in the soil to do its stuff, you're going to want to go with this guy. This is the Floodjet tip from T-Jet. This is a good option right here. This is the tip that I would use for prodiamine or any other soil-based products. And if you are looking for it, because I've still got it up right here, I will put it in the chat for you right now. So we're going to say at Mike Harvey, and there is the Floodjet tip. That is a tip that I would recommend for getting your soil-based applications. So, prodiamine, done. All right. Mike says, is there any advantage to using Hydrotane or a moisture manager product this time of year? Yeah, it depends on which there is, yes, because really if you are not getting very much rainfall, and you are still trying to reduce water requirements, so the little bit of irrigation, the rain that you do get, or the little bit of water you do put on the lawn, then a moisture manager like Hydrotane is still going to be helpful. So yeah, to answer your question, yes, there's still benefit to it. And here's the thing: I'm not sure if you've heard about the new option as well, which is the foreplay option here, Mike. But I'll show you. But on the store, if you go to shop and then to soil moisture management, so you've got Hydrotane, which is a great product. You got the granular and liquid versions of that, but you also have foreplay, which is, I almost want to call it Hydrotane 2.0. And with that, you get Hydrotane. I think 70% of it is Hydrotane. You also get a kelp product, which you get as well. You get, I'll tell you things in it. You got C Extra, which is their proprietary seedweed product. You get Surfactant, and then finally you get Humate. So it's a bit of everything to really, really help with localized dry spots. And it's like all the benefits of Hydrotane and then some. So if you have a lawn that's suffering with localized dry spots, foreplay is what I'd recommend going with. And frankly, if you are just looking for Hydrotane with a bit more in it as well, foreplay is also a good option. So either one of them. But either one will work. Just know that if you are buying this product, you are getting this and some other things as well. So either one will work well. And yes, to answer your question, there's still advantages to use it. If the grass is still growing, there's advantages to a moisture manager because it's gonna reduce how much water you're gonna have to put on the lawn. And yeah, especially if you're in Texas, it would be especially good for you guys to have been using Hydrotane or something similar to that in your lawn. NMS Auditor 1A says, Ron, Northwest Mississippi with Tifway 419. I normally wait until mid-October to pre-emerge. I plan to use spectacle flow this fall. Should I go down with it now or wait? If now, second app needed. No, so if you go now, you're not going to need another application. So it's your call. If you want to do mid-October, in my opinion, and you are in Northwest Mississippi, yeah. So mid-October for me is late. That's a bit late. I have to look and see like where, like how Northwest Mississippi. It's got to be similar to Georgia, I would think, climate-wise, similar. And again, when the thing with pre-emergent, here we go. The mantra again is a little bit early is better than a little bit late. Spectacle flow, if it's applied properly, will provide up to 10 months. The label says up to 10 months of weed suppression. So it's really, really good pre-emergent. It's about one of the best ways you can get for a warm season grass. So if you apply it now, here's what you're really doing, right? You're still going to apply pre-emergent in the spring anyway. So if you apply it now, say September, so you got September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So that's 7 months, right? Really, February-ish is when I would say you start looking at your spring pre-emergence. Really, it's like 6 months of coverage. So if you did it now, that's well within the window of how long spectacle is going to be effective. And if by getting it down now, you don't give any POA a chance to grow in your lawn. So you're not having to go out there afterwards and get rid of it with a post-emergent. So again, if you were doing mid-October and if that's what you normally do, maybe do mid-September. If you don't want to do it right now, give it in a couple of weeks perhaps looking at doing it, because if you're using spectacle, it's going to work it's literally got one of the best benefits to it, and the fact that it actually one application will keep POA out of your lawn is that it works for a very long period of time. So there's no negative really to doing it a bit early. I would not personally wait until mid-October to do it, especially given that it's going to last. By the time you're ready to apply pre-emergent again, spectacle, it's still going to have some juice left in it. It's still going to be doing a good job keeping weeds out of your lawn. Hope that helps. All right, Travis Dougherty says, thank you. You're very, very welcome, Travis. I appreciate you asking the question. And then Timothy Smith says, sent you some picture from yesterday. Your insight has made all the difference. Thank you for all you do and are doing. I appreciate that, Timothy. Let's see here. What you guys for? Ooh, my goodness. Oh, Lord, man. Oh, man. Listen. Okay, Tim. Look. When you send these pictures, you guys got to warn. Listen. When you guys send out pictures that have like that level of stripe action in it, I'm gonna need you guys to put like in the subject like stripe action alert, or put your sunglasses on first or something. You can't just. I almost got blinded by the stripes, man. You gotta warn me. You gotta warn me, man. This. Here's the thing. This is man. That color is looking good. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys all three of these. I'm so proud, so proud. All right, so let me see. Do I want to show you? Which one do I want to show you guys first? So this is. I'm gonna show you the least impressive of them first, because I want to save the really good one for last. All right, so it's still impressive, but the least impressive one. So that one, and this one. Okay, so we'll start out with this guy. This is his vanity strip, which is looking good. Look at the color. That's looking clean. You can also see he has left. If you look out there in the background on his vanity strip, you can see how he's mowing shorter. He left a little piece of grass there that's taller on his neighbor, just to assert domination. So every time his neighbor sees his lawn, he's like, "Hey, listen, your mom and me looking nice, but I'm mowing shorter than you are." And then we've got this guy. Look, guy, look at that stripe action. If you drive into a neighborhood and you see that. I guess that's just tough to compete with, man. I'm glad you're not my neighbor. That's clean, man. Stripe out lines look good. Color looks great. Very nice work, sir. I salute you. And then finally, we got another shot. Again, you can see the other neighbor. Their lawn is not looking bad, but you are definitely setting the standard. I would say you are dominating that street for sure for what I'm seeing. Again, the other lawns near you aren't bad, but you are definitely setting the standard, sir. Congratulations. Awesome work. I'm glad you're not my neighbor. Wow. Looking good, man. Keep it going. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm glad that the content, the channel, live stream has played a small part in it, but really it's all your hard work. It's the fact that you were very consistent, because just watching the live stream does not get you a lawn that looks like that. You actually have to get out there and do the stuff we talk about. And this represents a lot of work, man. That looks really good. Awesome job. Keep going. NMS Auditor says, I'm still going to burn it down in the spring. So I guess when it comes to your lawn, you are going to do a renovation. That's a good idea. I mean, if you are trying to change grass types, that is the best way to go about it. Just deal with the pain, deal with the ugliness, and in the end, you will like the result that you get better. You like the results you get better. Ooh, moderators, there's someone that is calling for your attention. And we'll take care of them. All right, next up is Travis. He's back. He says, what height would you cut a biweekly client? Ooh, man, that's a tough one. I don't know, Travis. I mean, you only mow every 2 weeks, 2.5 inches, 2.5, maybe 3 inches. I mean, it's really hard to keep a lawn looking nice if you're only cutting it once every 2 weeks. It's really hard to do it if you're doing it once every couple of weeks, you're going to be behind the curve, unfortunately. But I get it. People don't want to pay for you to come out there every week, but I would say 2.5 to 3, because here's what's going to happen. If you, this time of year, you might be able to go a little bit lower, but in the summertime, definitely more like 2.5, 3 inches, because what will happen is if you mow much shorter than that, let's say like 2 inches, right? What's going to happen is within 2 weeks between mowings, the grass is going to grow so much that whenever you cut it, you're going to take off so much that they're going to have like brown spots in the grass. They're going to be mad at you. And they're going to be like, "Whoa, you messed up my lawn, man. I paid you to come back here and mow it and it looked terrible." And when they realize that really cutting your grass once every 2 weeks just really isn't enough. So if that's what your clients are going to be on, if that's really where they're going to be, 2.5 to 3 inches, as much as it pains me to say that for Bermuda, that is going to keep them happier, meaning the grass will remain green the entire time. You know what I mean? Versus going shorter than that, you really got to get down. You got to cut more than once every 2 weeks. What you might want to do is talk to them about it. See if you can partner up with them on it and say, "Hey, listen, I know you guys want me to cut every 2 weeks, but if I cut every 2 weeks and I want your grass to be green in between mowing, so it stays green the entire time, I'm going to have to cut it a little bit taller." Now, if you want it to be shorter, what we can do is I can cut it, we can kind of team up on this. If you want to cut it one weekend, like the one that I'm not cutting it, and then I cut it the weekend that every 2 weeks, that's going to allow us to keep the grass at like 2 inches or so, thereabouts. You know what I mean? So you can see if they want to do that. They're probably not going to want to because they just want to pay you to take care of it. But if they are willing to get in there and help out, like mow it once a week, then you can get down to that 2-inch area. You might be able to get away with that, but if you're only once every 2 weeks, man, it's tough. And even at 2.5 to 3 inches, it's not going to look great. It's going to look better than if you cut it at 2, but it's just cutting a lawn every 2.5 weeks is just not enough for it to look good. Really, it needs to be it needs to be twice per week, not once every 2 weeks. So yeah, hope that helps, Travis. And I am guessing by bi-weekly you mean once every 2 weeks. I mean, bi-weekly can be two things. If they meant twice a week, which I doubt it, then you go a lot lower. But if it's once every 2 weeks, which I'm pretty sure that's what you meant, I would definitely err on the side of taller, so they don't get mad at you. Because if you go shorter than that, and it's going to scalp, and they're going to be mad. All right, Jesus, let's see here. Jesus Prado says, at JD Mountains, Rio, Bermuda seed was used in the Rose Bowl in California. So there you go. It was on center stage in college football. So there you go. That's a good reason to choose Rio as well, if you're looking for a grass seed to use on your soccer field project. Next up is Soldier. He says, "Hey Ron, hey Soldier, building a new house and have already confirmed that we'll be putting in Bermuda sod for the house. The plan is to move in February 2023. What are some first-year things you recommend for the new lawn? Thanks." Awesome stuff. Okay, so you're going to get the lawn handed over to you in February 2023. When is the sod going in? Have they said when the sod is going to go in? Is it going to go in this year? Like, it was going to go in like the latter, like, I don't know, a couple months from now? So if they're doing it, say, November, right? Whenever you get the lawn, it's handed over to you, I would personally do pre-emergent. I would get your pre-emergent down because Bermuda will tolerate that without an issue. I would get pre-emergent down because that's going to substantially reduce the amount of weeds you're going to have to deal with in your lawn in the spring and summer next year versus if you don't do pre-emergent. Now, what we're going to do after that is just walk you right down the Golf Course Lawn program, which you can find here. You go to golfcourselawn.store. I'll show you what I would recommend. So go here, click on shop, and when you're here at shop, just click right there and then go down to product categories. And what I would say is before you get out there and start feeding your lawn, throwing fertilizer and whatnot at it, is do a soil test. Get a soil test done. So this is going to tell you what is going on with your soil, and is really going to set you up for that growing season as far as knowing what type of fertilizer is going to be the best fit for your grass type. You know what I mean? You can, I mean, a lot of people will get out and they'll just start with a starter fert or something, you know, something like that. And you can do that, but a better bet is to use a soil test. And then based on what the soil test says, you're going to fertilize your lawn based on the soil test results. And then after that, it's really just mowing, lots and lots and lots of mowing. You know, that is in the core what it takes to get a great looking lawn. Now, if you want to step things up a notch and really begin to, you know, to build, you get that little X factor, assuming you're doing these things. So you soil tested, you fertilized, and you're mowing. Now that is where starting to add like your biostimulants to what you're doing is a good idea as well. So I'm a huge fan of granular biostimulants. This product, Essential G, is something I put down on my lawn literally every month since July of 2020. I have applied either, first it was Carbon Pro G, but now Essential G as of last year on my lawn. Every single month that goes down on my lawn. And you can think of it in many ways as an investment in your soil, because what it is it's a product that contains compost, but it also contains biochar. And what biochar is going to do is going to maximize nutrient uptake. So whenever you apply fertilizer, you're going to be able to get more out of it. It's going to help stimulate more microbial activity, which is good, because whenever you apply fertilizer to your lawn, it doesn't really do a whole lot until the bugs break it down and then turn it into a form that's available to the grass, to the plant for uptake. So in many ways, using a product like this, which you can do every single month, like literally year long, as long as the ground's not frozen, is an investment in your soil. It's not fertilizer, but it's something you can apply literally every month. So I do that, and then I also spray a liquid biostimulant as well. So I use 3 different products. It's called Release Zero, which is a 10% micronized carbon. So take like the biochar, imagine it being like turned into a very, very, very fine particle size. It's so small that you can actually spray it. That, along with a kelp product, which is good for overall plant health, and then again Biospectrum, which is a microbial food. So again, it's all about improving the quality of the soil. So by doing that, so getting your soil test done, fertilizing the lawn, and then getting on a biostimulant program using Essential G and the carbon kit, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to create great soil. And the reason why you want to do that is that grass, like awesome looking grass, is a byproduct of great soil. Like great looking grass, a great looking lawn doesn't grow in crappy soil. So having great soil is a way to create good looking grass as a byproduct. Almost like if you want like 6-pack abs, like getting in the gym and just doing a bunch of crunches is not really the way you get abs. You know, if you want to get lean, getting in the gym and just working out a bunch is not really the way you get lean. The way you get lean is by cleaning up your diet, like eating cleaner, like really eating like a plant-based diet, or eating just like minimizing how much carbs you eat, just watching what goes in your mouth, and then becoming leaner is a byproduct of that. Same thing when it comes to grass. If you want like an amazing lawn that is consistently green, that will survive, that does better in adverse conditions, like whenever you have more drought conditions, or just in general, just conditions that are not necessarily ideal for the grass to do well, your lawn will do better than the lawns nearby you, because the stuff that your grass is growing in is better. It's higher quality than what your neighbors have. So go to the store again, click on that shop link. I am a fan of getting a pre-emergent down. I'm not sure when your sod is going in. I mean, if it's been more than 3 months since the sod's been installed, then by all means. Now, if you're telling me that they're going to put the sod in February, like the day before you're checking in, then you might not want to do pre-emergent right then. Like you want to let it root in a little bit. In my case, my sod was installed in December, and the lawn got pre-emergent in March. So 3 months after being installed, it got pre-emergent, and it was just fine. Bermuda will tolerate that. You would not do that with like any kind of cool season grass. Like if you have like a fescue or rye or KBG, like the conventional wisdom or guidance would tell you wait an entire year before you use any kind of pre-emergent or anything like that on it. But Bermuda, you can, after 3 months or so after it's been established, you can get away with that without any adverse effects. And that's pretty much it. The only thing I'd say is outside of what I told you, just get there and mow it a lot. Get a good mower. If you're going to start out with a rotary mower, that's fine. Get a good mower, keep it sharp, and just mow your grass. You know, if you can cut your grass every 2 weeks, like, I mean, sorry, no, you can cut your grass twice in a week. I'm still thinking about that previous comment. If you can cut your grass at least twice a week, so once in the weekend and then once, say, in the middle of the week, a Wednesday or Thursday or so, that alone is going to do a lot for creating a good looking lawn. And then you couple in a good fertilization program, a good biostimulant program, and your neighbors aren't going to be able to touch you. So hope that helps. Congrats on the new lawn and the new house ahead of time. I know you still got some time to get it, but that is what I would do. That's what I would do. That's what I've told other people to do. And, and that is what helps produce results like that. So Timothy, other people that are in the Golf Course Lawn Academy, literally, like what I'm telling you is exactly what I tell them, and that I mean the results speak for themselves. All right, next up is No Name. He says, "Hey Ron and fellow lawn care enthusiasts, those stripes are fire. Being in Georgia, when do you plan to put down your fall pre-emergent?" Well, here's the thing. I want to do it. I would have liked to have done it this weekend because my plan was going to be to live stream showing you guys how I mix it, doing like a video for cool season guys and for warm season guys. And then I'd have like 2 like backpack sprayers full of pre-emergent. I'd be able to go spray my lawn and Alex's lawn and then also our project lawn, but that's probably not going to happen with the weather. But anytime now, No Name, you can, anytime in the month of September is you're good to go. There's already like some of the pro services that handle lawns in my neighborhood are already spraying pre-emergent. So the window's open now. I would lean more towards early than late because, again, it's in the name, pre-emergent. It works best if you apply it prior to the weeds emerging. So get it down earlier than later if at all possible. Next up is JD Metz. He says, "Ron, if no R15, what is the next best Bermuda seed you'd recommend? Trying to seed a soccer field size." Yeah, so I think also Jesus chimed in as well on Rio. Rio's a good looking one. So Rio, Yukon, those are great great grass seeds. But take a look at Rio. Take a look at a lot of those options and see which one you like best. Also give Hancock Seed a call. They're in I think they're in Lakeland. They're in Florida, like Lakeland, Florida. Give them a call and talk to them and let them and see if there's any new seed that's coming out that they can talk to you about. But you're not going to go wrong with Yukon or Rio or any of those guys. Those have been around for a while, and because the new replacement to Arden 15, to my knowledge, hasn't been announced yet. Which means it's not available. And it sounds like you're trying to do your soccer field, like you're trying to get that done now versus waiting for something that doesn't really exist as yet. So, hope that helps. And then No Name says, "Is Anderson's brand name, but the ingredient is prodiamine." Is that right? Is it let me see, is that actually correct? Yeah, because I thought Barricade, is Barricade, no, Barricade isn't, Barricade is, it's that's the name, but that's Syngenta's, I thought so. So Syngenta Anderson's has products that has Barricade in it, has prodiamine in it, but Barricade is made by Syngenta, if I'm not mistaken. I'm almost positive. I can check here really quick, but I'm pretty certain it's a Syngenta product. And to your point, No Name, it is, the active ingredient is prodiamine. All right, Benjamin Kane says, "Excellent." I'm glad it was excellent. I forgot what question I answered for you, but I'm glad it was useful. All right, and Jesus is chiming in again. He says, "Rio Bermuda is the best seed you're going to find." So there you go. We got someone else telling, he's reiterating, you really want to go with Rio. And then Tom G says, "Big fan of penetration testing." I'm sure you are, Tom. And then next up is Jesus Prado. He says, "I actually have a 10,000 square foot RN15 that I use as a soccer field in my backyard, and it looks amazing. Ron, how can I send you some pictures?" You can send me pictures here. Go to, if it will load, ron@golfcourselawn.com. Jesus, you send them there. I'll be able to get them up. If you can send it here soon enough, I might be able to actually get it on the show tonight. We'll have to see. So yeah, but that's my email, ron@golfcourselawn.com. Send your pictures there. And again, try not to send the ones that are ginormous, because then I gotta like make them smaller before I load them, because it'll cause a problem with the software. So not too big, but yeah, if you can send them there, I will try and get them posted so people can check it out. Doug 350Z Twin Turbo. He says, Ron, I had a feeling you were in cybersecurity when you didn't say your home network equipment. LOL, Home Assistant, Ubiquity, and PoE for me. Local. Yeah. Ubiquity makes some really good stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm into cybersecurity, but I mean, it's like, again, I'm very, very paranoid. Like I have, like, there's multiple networks. Like I've got, like, whenever people come over and they need Wi-Fi, like there's a guest network, there's a dirty network that everything's on, and the security cameras are on their own network, and then this stuff is all on its own trusted network. And I run NAC internally, so even if you've got in the house and you plug something in, it's not going to work. So it's just it's not paranoia. It's a solid understanding of reality. How's that? Yeah, information security. That's what I do. And I'm a geek. I just enjoy doing it. I've always run like a lab in my house ever since like the mid '90s. So even before computers were cool, I was into it. So that was my thing. Adam Forbes says, I have gone absolutely insane on the new yard. I hope your recommendation comes through in the spring to buy from them when a greens mower is an absolute must. So I'm sure you'll see that. Yes, the recommendations, they should come through. Yeah, I mean, as far as what will work for in the springtime, yes, that's going to get you on the right path, Adam, for sure. And then a greens mower, if you're going to go that route, you're going to love the way the lawn looks. I mean, a greens mower will produce results that look like this. Like if you want, like your lawn will not look like that if you cut it with even a McLean or even a True Cut will not produce results quite like that, because what you'll notice is there's not really hot spots in the lawn so much, right? Overall, the cut looks relatively smooth and even. And because you have the weight of the mower and that rear drum, it just produces great stripes, produces amazing stripes. If stripes your thing, if you are about that stripe action life, like that's your thing, can't go wrong with a greens mower. Can't go wrong with a Greensmaster, a John Deere, or like an Allett. Any one of those three, you really can't go wrong with them. Just bring your wallet. They are proud of their products, but you will love the way your lawn looks with them. They're pretty awesome. Lance F is here. He says, Happy Friday, Ron. Funny story. My mother-in-law came over today, told my wife the grass looks like velvet. She wouldn't walk onto it. Thanks for all the help. That's pretty awesome, man. So your grass is like velvet. She was like, and here's the thing. Even my mail guy, I'm becoming pretty good friends with him, and we talk about grass whenever he drops the mail off, and also my UPS guy and the FedEx guy. You know what? They show respect. They don't walk on the grass. The Amazon guys, it's kind of hit and miss with them. Those guys, they'll walk right up the lawn. They don't care. I mean, I get it. They have to deliver a bajillion packages in a day. But the regulars, the UPS guy, which is, I have only two UPS guys that tend to drop off by me, and then the FedEx guys, there's like 3 people that tend to drop off stuff depending on whether it's express or ground, and they all take the trip. They all come on the driveway and they walk around the sidewalk, and they don't walk on the grass. So I get it, Lance. It's a huge compliment, because here's the thing, right? It's very easy to look at a lawn like this, and us being grass nerds will be like, oh man, it looks awesome, dude. It's awesome grass, great job. But we're all grass geeks. We all like grass. But when you have someone that is not into grass and they look at it and they're like, man, this, you know what? I don't know what's different about this, but it's different. And normally I walk on grass, but I feel like I need to get permission first. I need to clean my feet first before I walk on this. That's when you're doing something. And those are really that's the best stuff. That's what you live for, right? Those are the comments and the compliments that you live for. Great stuff, man. Keep doing what you're doing, Lance. Obviously, all your hard work is paying off. So just keep doing what you're doing. Great stuff. All right, Ivy Jones is here. He says, hey, Ron, I applied the Certainty Celsius combo on my Bermuda 2 days ago. Would I be safe to overseed bare spots in the coming weeks, or would it be futile? Well, yeah, so Celsius and Certainty isn't going to negatively impact like your ability for seed to grow. Like that shouldn't be a problem. Now, when you say seed in a bare spots in a couple of weeks, are you going to do a cool season overseed? So are you going to overseed your Bermuda with a ryegrass? If you're going to do that, then yeah, that's fine. If you're talking about fixing or repairing a bare spot in your Bermuda lawn with seed, I'm not a huge fan of doing that, because here's why. When a Bermuda lawn is healthy, it spreads like wildfire. Like it literally gets everywhere, even places you don't want it to get to. So if the grass isn't growing in an area of your lawn, we need to figure out why that is. So it could be it's a shade problem. It could be there is a lot of times it's a debris. If there's some kind of like trash under there, a piece of plywood, a big piece of rock or big boulder that's near the surface that's causing the grass to be thin in that area. Like we want to figure out what's causing the grass in that one spot to not grow before we get out there and try and do seed or sod or anything like that. Because really, if this Bermuda is getting enough sunlight and some nitrogen and some rainfall, it's going to grow. It's going to grow. It's going to spread. It should fill in without an issue. Now, if your plan was to seed Bermuda, now is not the time of year when I would do that. The time to do that would really be springtime, like Aprilish, May timeframe, because right now what you're going to find is we are in September, and we're things are beginning to taper off. Our season is starting to slow down as far as how the grass is growing. So I would, if you're going to do any kind of renovation project or anything like that, I would wait until the spring of next year. If the seeding that you're talking about is cool season grass seed, then yeah, you're good to go. Now is the time frame, is the window's open, go forth and seed and enjoy it and have a blast, right? But that's only if that is what you are, if that's what you're doing. I wouldn't do that if you're I wouldn't do Bermuda or warm season grass seed this time of year. It's too late in the season, in my opinion. So hope that helps. And let me know how that Certainty Celsius combo does. It's good stuff. Everyone that I've that's been started using it has really enjoyed it. Like the results they've gotten with it. So definitely keep me posted on how it does. All right, so we got a picture here from Jesus Prado. Let's see, Jesus, how big is this picture? Am I going to be able to show this? Let's see. Let's see if I save and it looks like it will work. It looks like it might work. So it is, so here's a picture of his lawn, and man, that looks tight. That's looking really good, sir. He got his sandals on. I love this picture. All right, so let's see if this works. If I can get it to load up here, I'm gonna take a sip here while I look for the next comment and look at some other pictures that came in. That's pretty tight. So you see he's got his sandals on, and that is looking pretty good, man. Nice and tight. Good work. And you see you got 10,000 square feet of Arden 15. I dig it. I dig it, Jesus. Really nice. He's got another picture here, which I can also show you guys. I'll drop that here in the live stream as well, so you can see that. Yeah. Here we go. This is another pic of his Arden 15, 10,000 square feet worth. And he's just showing us how tight it is compared to his sandals. So great stuff, man. Keep doing what you're doing. It's looking good. I like it. And another close up. And then he wasn't kidding. When he says he has a soccer field in his backyard, this man is not playing. I mean, when he says he has a soccer field, like he really does. He truly does have a soccer field. So check out this picture here of his lawn. When he says he's got a soccer field, he actually does have one. Some people say they have a soccer field, or they're kind of like metaphorically saying, "Hey, I got a soccer field." He literally has a soccer field in his backyard, which is pretty awesome. Grass looks great, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Love it. Love the look. Love the pictures. Thank you so much for that, Jesus. Thanks for sending those in. Really nice stuff. Lawn looks great. All right, next up is NMS Otter. He says, Ron, no. I'm going to light the Bermuda on fire instead of scalping it next spring. I promise you to have pictures and we'll deliver. Oh, yeah, that's right. You said you're going to burn. You were the one's going to burn down your lawn. You are going to set it on fire. Here's the thing, man. I am not telling you to do that. I want to go on record. It's September. What is it? Today's September 2nd. Anyone watching this, I am not telling you to set your lawn on fire, especially if you live in a subdivision, because it can get out of hand. You can end up burning your neighbor's lawn down, burning shrubs down, heaven forbid, burning your house down. And in most house associations, it's against the rules to do that. So if you're going to set your lawn on fire as a way to clean out your lawn, you're doing so at your own risk. I am not telling you to do that. That said, if you do it, send pictures because I want to see. All right. And Travis Dougherty says, well, doing the mowing right. Nice stuff. Nice. And then Saw Dude says, we love you, man. You're awesome. Love the information. Thank you so much, Saw Dude. I really do appreciate it. Love you guys too. Thanks for watching the content. And I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your Friday evening, Labor Day weekend, to hang out and talk about grass, right? Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it that grass would have been a topic that would get 100 plus people on a Friday night to come here and hang out and talk about grass. All right, Travis Dougherty says, "You're the best, Ron. I hope everyone learns a lot like I do." Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. We're all learning. I'm always trying to get better and learn new things. I like it, frankly, when you guys ask me questions, I don't have the answer to it. I mean, sometimes y'all rough me up a bit. Sometimes we have live streams and it's like, I don't know. I got to research it, but that's good because it makes me better. It makes you guys better. We all learn together. And, in the end, the goal is for us to all have awesome looking lawns, right? So that's the thing. So I appreciate you guys hanging out, and I really, really do. Thanks for the kind words. All right, JBL 4345 is up next. He says, "Hey Ron, I'm in East Texas with way too much rain and little sun. I am suffering from gray or brown spot fungus in my St. Augustine. I have dumped copious amounts of propiconazole and Fertilum F-stop to no avail. Any suggestions on what I can do to stop or slow the spread while it continues to rain?" Like, what you're doing sounds like the way to go, JBL. You did propiconazole. I don't know if azoxystrobin might make sense. Well, I don't know what's in the Fertilum F-stop. I'm not sure what's in that product. But what you might want to try is also using some azoxystrobin as well. Like, propiconazole is they're both great fungicides. But, maybe getting some azoxystrobin down as well, assuming that's not what's already in the Fertilum F-stop. I'm not familiar with that product, so it might very well have azoxystrobin. But if it doesn't, that's something else you might try. So a good option here, and you already got the propiconazole covered. But if you go to the golf course lawn store and go to shop and then fungicide and insecticide, you can see here we have Headway, which is a combination insecticide and fungicides. If you look here, I'm just going down some more. If you look at the active ingredients, let me get you off the chat here really quick for 1 second. Bear with me. Right there. Okay, so if I scroll in here, you can see this got 2 active ingredients. The first being azoxystrobin, and the second being propiconazole. So this is a great herbicide that has, it's a combination. It sounds like you already got the propiconazole covered, but if the F-stop doesn't contain azoxystrobin, give Headway G a shot. That's got azoxystrobin in it, or you can get azoxystrobin just by itself too. But this is what I typically send people to when it comes to disease problems in their lawn, because they're 2 very good fungicides that are both rated and safe or labeled for use on residential lawns, and this tends to do a great job knocking back or suppressing whatever problem you happen to be dealing with. So sorry you're dealing with that. You're one of the few people in Texas that's getting a ton of rain, right? Most people in Texas are complaining about not getting enough, and you're getting now too much, and it's causing these problems. So sorry you're dealing with that, sir. You can try some azoxystrobin and just patience. It will get better. It will get better. All right, Dwayne's World is here. He says, "Hey, Ron, I want to give a shout out to Stunted Bermuda, if that's okay." Yeah, of course. Yeah. He says, he has a great collection of Allet mowers. Both you and him are 2 of my favorite channels on YouTube. I appreciate all you do. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, man. Sonny's got a couple of Allets. He got a new one this year. I think it's a 24. He got the C24, and he has, is it a Kensington? What's the one? He has the one that's the interchangeable cartridge, and he also has the C24 as well. He's got a couple of them. He's got at least 2 that I know of. He's got more than me, right? He's more in that Allet life than even I am. All right, so yeah, I think he's going to help you. You're very, very welcome. JD says, "Thanks, Ron and Jesus. I just ordered the Full House Bermuda Grass Seed Blend, Hollywood and Monaco, and some Oasis, Blackjack, Maya, and Transcontinental from Outside Pride." Cool. Yeah, man, let us know how it does. Let it know how it does. And he said, "I will try some Yukon as well to test the waters." So you don't really care that you're going to have multiple different types of Bermuda grass within this soccer field. You just want grass on it. That's what I'm getting, right? You're not really trying to make it, you're not being super picky that you want it to be all one cultivar, because, because what you're doing there is you're throwing a lot at it. So just know that it may not look like how Jesus's lawn looks, where this is Arden 15 and it's nice and, it all looks the same. You might notice some slight texture differences and some slight color differences. So just something to keep in mind when you're mixing and matching various types of Bermuda. Just something to think about. Not saying you can't do it, but just something to think about. All right. And then, Jesus, it's funny. Jesus says the same thing. He says, at JD, I don't know how the different types of seeds are going to look all combined. I would stick with one variation. Yep, there you go. If you really want to dive deep on how a seed performs and looks, look into the NTEP scores and results. So there you go. Yeah, so I'm with him on that, man. I might, if you're starting with a bare canvas, I would pick one. I would just, the Rio was very, is one that he mentioned, and that's a good one. I would pick one. The Rio or the Monaco, I'd pick one and just go with that, or pick Yukon, whichever one you decide to go with. Like, to his point, look at the scores, look at the pictures online of the different types, and just compare them. Say, I like the way this looks, like the color of this, I like the texture of this. Just pick one, and I would go with that throughout the entire field. That's just me, because again, being a soccer field, I don't know how much it's really going to matter, because it's going to get beaten up quite a bit, but it's going to look even better if it's just one grass type. You know what I mean? All right, No Name says, I love that we are finally getting rain, but it always happens at the inopportune time. I know, right? Mother Nature wants rain to come when she wants it to come, right? So there you go. And No Name says, also, who doesn't have at least 3 segments in their home network? Blasphemy. I know, right? I mean, I know who No Name is. We've actually worked together. And yes, it sounds reasonable to us, but to most people, it sounds like craziness. It's crazy talk. You mean you purposely make stuff in your network not be able to talk to other stuff in your network? Why would you do that? It makes life more. Then you have to do like routing and all. It seems like a lot more work. It is sort of initially, but then it's better, and it's fun. There's also that too. It's fun. I forgot that part about it. Next up is David Polanco. He says, "Howdy, Ron. Happy Friday, and to you and the chat." Howdy, David. Thanks for coming to hang out. And then Greg is back. Hopefully this is not too bad here. He says, I think my Amazon, FedEx, and UPS people really hate the 50-pound boxes they have to deliver every other week. Has your delivery person asked why there's so many boxes coming? Mine? Yeah, they just know. They just know. They know what it is. And honestly, what'll happen is, because I can not a lot of times see them on camera whenever they're coming in, I'll go help them sometimes. I feel bad. Like I'm getting it's like the fertilizer in particularly, because normally when I get my Essential G, I get it on a pallet, believe it or not. I get enough of it to where I only have to get it a couple times per season. I get like a pallet of it and just stack it in the garage. But when it comes to the fertilizer, if I see them coming, I'll open the garage and I'll run outside and I'll help them just bring it in, because it's heavy, man. I mean, I think about it. I have never done that job, but I imagine like they probably have a lot of back injuries. And if, it's not, I appreciate them bringing my stuff, even though it is their job. I can run down there and help them out really quick. So they are used to it. They know when it comes to coming by here that it's going to be, not always, but it's either going to be camera equipment or it's going to be something like fertilizers, like heavy stuff. So they're used to it. And a lot of times, again, I give them a hand, so I don't put it all on them. Steve Jackson's in the house. He says, "Hey Ron, I just bought some liquid pre-emergent today. It is pendimethalin 38.5%. It is recommended at my turf and seed store. Any knowledge on this?" It's a good pre-emergent. Pendimethalin is a good option as well. Yeah, no, if they recommended it, can absolutely do that. Just make sure you read the label, make sure you wear your PPE, and then apply it per the label rates. Yeah, no worries at all with that, Steve. It's a good option. I'm not sure how long pendimethalin lasts, but I've not really heard anything negative about it. It's not as popular as prodiamine or dithiopyr. And because around here, what you normally find is the services, like the pro services, are going to spray typically prodiamine and spectacle. So they'll be spraying spectacle this time of year, and they spray prodiamine in the springtime. So that's normally what, at least in my area, what a lot of the services do. All right. And then Jesus Prado says, I love Arden 15. It can tolerate so much wear and tear and it recovers quickly. I know, man. Think about it. You know how much abuse I put my lawn through? Like literally, I'm not nice to it. I'm not nice to it. Top dress it. I'm mean on it. I mow it all the time. It's not babied. You guys might think so, but I don't baby this grass, and it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. All right, Ivy Jones is here. She says, glad I asked. I was going to reseed with the remaining Yukon I purchased earlier in the year, but I'll hold off until the spring. I would, Ivy. I would. The best time to do a seeding project with Bermuda is really April, May timeframe. Like, because here's why too, because the time when the grass is going to germinate, the window for germination for most Bermuda grass seed starts when soil temps are consistently at 65 degrees or higher. And if you wait until late April, early May, you normally meet that requirement. So it's warm enough for it to actually germinate. But you also get the benefit that during that time of year, there's often a lot of rain, which means you don't have to water quite as much. You know what I mean? If you wait till like June, July to go do a seeding project, it'll still work, but you're going to be spending a lot more money and time watering the grass versus doing it April, May time frame. That Mother Nature will just water it for you, and you're going to get a great result. So good stuff, man. I'm glad that we saved you some time and headache. You are very, very welcome. Donna Hale says, I just sent pictures of a creeping grass into mine. Help. What do you think it is, and what will get rid of it? I have Tifway 419, I believe. I don't know, John. Let me look here. What did you send me? Can I see if I can find it? So I can find pictures of it. You got to send me, these pictures are they're kind of small. I can't really see what this is. It's hard to see what it is in the picture, Donna. I'll put it up in the live stream. It's hard. Yeah, it's not. You gotta send me a bigger picture. But I'll put it up here anyway, and maybe everyone else can take a look at it as well. But it's a tiny. It's too small. It could be like a sedge. Or I don't know what that is. I can't tell. It's too. You see what I mean? Like that picture's way too small, and if I blow it up, it gets really grainy. I can't tell what that is, Donna. If you have sedges or buttonweed or something, I can't tell. Unfortunately, I need if you can get take some like a bigger picture, some higher resolution pictures so that it shows up, because they're all too small. You have another picture here that leads me to think that might be a sedge of some sort. So there's another picture here that she sent. And even though it's tiny and small, that looks a lot like what sedge, like a nut sedge looks like in a lawn. Like you can see how much like brighter the green is and how it's a bit shinier than the existing grass. Like I can't see it close up, but when nut sedge is really prominent in a lawn or taken over in an area of a lawn, that is how it often looks. And given that it looks like you have a slope on the right side, so like water runs down there, so water probably settles in that area, that would be where nut sedge would grow. Like if you look at it, you can see it's kind of like it's like at the bottom of like a roll off there from the right side down. So I mean, I really need a better picture, but looking at it from this one, it could be sedge. It could be a nut sedge. It could be that, but I need a better picture, unfortunately, to be able to get you a better answer. If it is nut sedge, and you'll know if the picture, I can show you a picture of what nut sedge looks like. If it looks like, Don, if the weed looks like this, I need to do this. What I'm going to do for next week. I'm going to get some good pictures of nut sedge that are not on the store, so I can just have them easy to pull up. If the weed looks like this, go in my certainty product description. If it looks anything like this, like if it looks like that, where it's like it's like a fine blade and it's shiny like that, then it's probably a sedge of some sort. So it could be yellow sedge, could be kalinga, but if it looks like that, and especially if it's in an area that water settles, because this grass, this weed loves wet areas, either areas where water settles or areas where water runs past whenever the lawn is draining. It could be a sedge, and if it is, then the product you're going to want to use to get rid of it is Certainty. So it's going to be, this guy. This is absolutely devastating against that weed, but we want to confirm that's actually what you got first before you go out and spend the money and buy a herbicide that may or may not be correct. But just looking at the pictures, and again, they're not great pictures, it leads me to think that it could be a sedge of some sort because of where it is in the lawn. So hope that helps. And I will, again, if you can send me some more pictures after the live stream, I'll look at them and get you a better answer. But I need a little bit closer picture to be able to tell you for sure. Next up is Gary Kellett Jr. He says, hey, Ron, I got some competition. I got a new neighbor who is stepping up. I'm driving my wife nuts. Time to head to site one tomorrow. So it's lawn warfare. So Gary, what's happening? Whenever your neighbor starts mowing, are you also going out there and mowing too? So if you hear his mower start up, you're like, I mowed 2 hours ago, but I can do a little touch-up cut. Do you get out there? So when he's out like putting down a spreader, do you also answer? So which are you? Are you the initiator? So are you the one out mowing, and then whenever he hears you mowing, he comes out and mows? Or whenever he's out mowing, do you go and break out like your broadcast spreader and you start putting something on your lawn? Just kind of walk by and look at him while you're doing it. Or in other words, which way is it? Is he copying you? I'm not saying you're copying him, but are you just trying to ensure that whenever you are doing things, he sees it? Which is it? Because I'm only hearing one side of the story here. So I want to see if you're the instigator or what. It sounds in some ways kind of like the instigator, because you're going to site one tomorrow to go get some more product just so you can assert dominance. I get it, man. I mean, I completely understand. Well, have fun. Hopefully you get something good at site one and continue to assert dominance in your line. And plus, it's fun, man. It's fun to have someone else that also cares about their lawn. You guys can go back and forth, have like a friendly competition. You know, I like it. All right, next up is No Name. He says, I have a question for you, Ron. When would you stop using Nutrizol? Whenever I stop spraying liquids on the lawn. So, you know, early October. It depends. Answer is it depends. If we have a fall this year, like we did last year, where it was warm into November, December, you'll be in October and you'll still be spraying liquids on the lawn. If it behaves like it's supposed to, and in October it starts to getting cooler and the grass starts going into dormancy, then October might be your last time when you're spraying liquids on the lawn. So it depends. It depends on what the weather does to determine when you will stop spraying. But I would stop spraying Nutrizol whenever I stop spraying liquid fertilizer, because I don't typically spray Nutrizol by itself. It goes in the tank along with 901C, or when I was using Turfplex, or along with Turfplex. So it's something that goes along with the other stuff I'm spraying by itself. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've ever sprayed. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever sprayed Nutrizol just by itself. It's always been sprayed with something else. In my case, I've always just used it when I'm out there spraying my liquid to get some micronutrient in the soil as well. Vashawn Brooks is up next. He says, currently using a manual Earthwise for 1,000 square feet, but looking to upgrade to a power for a hilly 7,000 square feet in the back. Nice. I get it, man. So you liking what you're getting with the Earthwise, the 1K in the front. Yeah, 7,000 square feet with a push mower it's a lot of work, especially if it's hilly. I get it. So it depends, Vashawn. What's your budget? What's your budget like? And that's going to dictate a lot of what you intend to go with. It also depends on how hilly the area is. If it's hilly to where it's hilly and uneven, then going with something like a true cut might make a lot more sense, because on a slope, a true cut, of all the mowers I have, the true cut is by far the best on the slope. The Greensmaster can work on a slope, the Owlet can work on a slope, but they are not as good on a slope as the true cut. Now, if your slope is somewhat mild, to where it's not crazy hilly, or there's areas where the mower might tip over, you know what I'm saying, where it's not not seriously slope or not too bad, then you will get a better cut from a greens mower. Like if you can get like a Greensmaster, or whatever, any kind of rear drum mower, you're going to get a better cut, better stripes. Just in general, it's going to be better. But you have to look at your lawn and know what you're dealing with. So you know what you can do is, I'm going to send you a video of my front lawn. You can see my slope, and you can see me cutting it with a greens mower. And if your lawn is like that or less sloped, then a greens mower could be something you're going to use. If it's more than that, then a true cut is a better choice, more than likely, because you want to make sure that whenever you're going to use on the lawn is safe, like you can operate it safely, and that it's just going to produce a decent cut, right? You don't want something that's so steep and weird or weird contours that you're just going to hate using the mower on it. So at Vashawn, there is the video that shows me mowing with a greens mower, and then based on that, you can decide which one is correct for you. It's the best one for you. All right, Jesus says, right now I'm trying to look at a triplex. It takes about an hour to cut everything, and with a triplex, it would take 15 minutes. Excited because we may get one for next season. Nice. Talk to Robert. Robert Mahoris is in the live stream. He got one. He has a John Deere, which I forget what model number it is, but it's sweet, man. He's got like a John Deere something. It's a big piece of equipment. Let's see if I got it still here. I have a bunch of pictures from you guys. I'm not sure if Roberts is still in here. Maybe not. But it was a nice. Oh, here we go. It is a nice piece of equipment. I think this is it. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Look at that mamma jamma. That is nice right there. That is sweet. That's a sweet piece of equipment. So that's what he's rolling with. And that would do a great job on your soccer fields. If you're looking for something like that, that would get it done. So talk to Robert. I'm not sure where he got his, but that's an option. If you got a bit larger property and you want to, you want to make sure that you it's again, cut your mowing time from 50% to from an hour to a lot less than an hour, then that is an option. Now, you know what's funny? I scroll, there it is. His picture is way down, and then I put it up, and then I scroll back up, and I forgot. Dang it! I got to scroll down there and find it so I can turn it off. All right, so there you go. But yeah, there's an option. That one looks really nice. It's a nice mower, and that's an option for you as well if you decide that you want to get upgrade to some serious hardware. You know, some heavy equipment. All right, let's see what other questions we got. We got VMH in the house. He's saying, JD, mine is TXD Bermuda, which is a blend of Yukon, Mirage, and Royal Bengal. And then Carlos Bob said, hey, Ron, I wanted to thank you for helping me out throughout the season. You're very, very welcome. No problem at all. That's what I'm here for. My lawn has never looked better. I'm surprised at how many people will stop by the house just to talk about my lawn, which is sweet. That's awesome, man. That's the best, right? I mean, it's fine for me or any of the people in the live stream here to say, hey, man, your lawn looks awesome. We all love grass. But for someone that doesn't really care about grass and they notice it, that's when you're doing something right. So I'm glad that I was able to help out a little bit, and you did all the hard work to get your lawn looking the way it is. Keep going, because the more you work on it, the better it will get. The better it will get. Next, we got Josh Condor. He says, dealing with some stunted Bermuda in areas, no matter what I feed it. Any suggestions? I sent you some pictures. I don't have a picture from you, Josh. Do I have a picture from you? I don't see here. While I look for that, I'm not sure. So you say it's stunt. We say stunted. So no matter what it doesn't grow. Now, let's just go through our checklist of things that will cause Bermuda grass to not do well. Actually, yeah, here, I think I found it. Let's go through our checklist of things that will cause Bermuda to not grow well. Is one, sunlight. So make sure the area is not shaded. And if we pass that check, make sure it's getting enough water, enough fertilizer, which I'm sure you're doing those things. But then also make sure there's not any debris or any kind of a piece of plywood, rocks, stuff left over from when the house was built. Those things will help. What will cause the grass to struggle in an area for no apparent reason. So those are things that I can think of off the top of my head. I see the picture you sent here. I can take a look at it, and it's not. I mean, it looks like too much water. It looks like some kind of disease problem you got going on here. So I will show the picture here really quick. Everyone else, the panel can weigh in. You guys can weigh in with your thoughts and see what you guys think as well. But the discoloration looks almost like some kind of disease problem, man. It's like some kind of it's like a lot of water is sitting. You see how it's brown in some of those spots? Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks. I mean, does a lot of water settle in this area for some reason? Because it looks like you may have some kind of a fungus problem as well. I mean, if you take away the brown, the actual grass that isn't brown or damaged or infected looks pretty good. It looks okay. It looks okay to me. So it would be good if I had like a bigger picture, Josh, to see what's going on. And it also looks kind of, to be honest, it looks a little bit thatchy to me as well. It looks, I'm not seeing, like I'm looking through that and I can't see the soil at all. So if you take, I'm not sure if you're outside of where you are on your lawn right now, you're in Texas, but if when you're out there tomorrow, can you actually get your finger and work your way down to the soil? Because it looks like, that looks really, I'm looking at the picture here offline, it looks really thick, almost like you might have like a thatch problem as well. So you might benefit from a verticut, like just like the thinning out that area, thinning out the turf a little bit, letting some more heat and sunlight get down and get down to the soil. So that could help. But I mean, the things to check, again, shade, debris in the lawn, under the soil, those are things. And then if the area is a low spot where a lot of water settles in pools, that can lead to disease problems, that can be an issue as well. And in this lawn, looks like there's a lot of dead tissue in that picture. So you might want to look into like turf raking or verticutting it, just kind of thinning it out and cleaning that out. We could try that. So outside of that, man, I'm not sure what else. Also, if you get a chance, whenever you next to me out on the lawn, send me another picture of it, but send me one like from further back so I can see how this compares to the rest of the lawn, if you don't mind. That would also be helpful. Good stuff. All right, so we have a super chat but no message. It says no message retracted. So from Paul Courtney, thank you so much for the super chat, Paul.
Super chat received.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the support, sir. I really, really do appreciate that. And let's see what other comments we have here. Steve Jackson says, I just emailed you a picture of the pre-emergent and the lawn stripes. The pre-emergent and lawn stripes. So what is this? So Sandberg grass preventer. Oh my goodness. Guys, listen, you guys, man, towards the end, you know what? Cool season people, you guys better bring it, man. You guys better bring it, because I got to tell you, the warm season folk, the warm season contingent, they are, I think this is warm season grass. It looks like Bermuda. I'm not sure what, it looks like Bermuda. It does. It looks like it. But warm season guys are not messing around this time of year. So this is the pre-emergent that he sent, Sandberg crabgrass preventer. I can't see what's in that here, Steve, but I'll put your picture up of your lawn. I'll show that off. So take a look here at that. I mean, look at that color, guys. Goodness gracious. I mean, you gotta respect that. That's clean. Color looks good. It looks fairly even. Overall, man, nice work. Nice work. Very, very nice. I like it. You guys, this time of year is nice, right? Because it's not crazy hot. The grass isn't growing as nice, but there's still enough heat and sunlight for you to still get awesome color like that. So great work. Great work, man. Keep it going. Keep it going, man. It was very, 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 very good stuff, man. Keep whatever you're doing, keep it up. All right, let me see what else we got here. Jesus Preto's chiming in. He says, to identify sedge, cut the stem with the scissors. The stem looks like a triangle. That means it's a sedge. Cool. Thanks for that, Jesus. Appreciate the tip. And we have a couple other super chats here. Let me get those as well. One from Paul Courtney. Thanks. Another one. Thank you for that, Paul.
Super chat received.
And then one from David Polanco says,
Super chat received.
we appreciate you. Thank you for your time, Ron. I appreciate you as well so much, David. Thank you for coming to hang out. I really do appreciate it. And then Paul Courtney has a comment. He says, I joined the blade of shame and killed a week-old 10-blade Alec Kensington 20-inch blade. Luckily, I bought it with Amex and they warranted it. Oh wow, that's cool. Oh, so what do you do? Do you nick it? Do you hit on some concrete or something? Yeah, that's not good. It says I was supposed to say I killed a 10-blade Alec edge tonight on a concrete edge. Yeah, been there, done that. You seen my video, right? You seen the video where I took my Greensmaster and nicked the edge of concrete, and I gotta tell you, it doesn't work. Like the Greensmaster is a great mower. Doesn't cut concrete. I tried it. I did my best. Concrete 1, Greensmaster reel 0. The benefit to it though is that whenever I got it back, I got the 11 blade, which cuts so nice. The 11 blade cuts so nice compared to the 8 blade that was in there. So always a silver lining, right? I'm glad you're able to get your thing, your mower, your part warranted. And then Vashawn Brooks is back. He says $2,000 max, perfectly brand new. Ugh. So for $2,000, man, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough because even a true cut, you're looking at $2,500 ish thereabouts. $2,500 with a roller, which you're gonna want to get a roller for it. So if you get a deal, you might be able to get one for around $2,000, but that would be a deal. So if you can bump the budget up to like $2,500. That wouldn't be bad. That wouldn't be bad. But here's the thing: you can find a pre-owned true cut, for one that's in good shape, not abused for around $1,000, and that is going to save you some money. And frankly, it's going to be it's going to cut just fine. If you want brand new, then True Cut is going to be the one that I would go with. If I had a choice between a McLean, a True Cut, or a California trimmer. I know, Dwayne, don't get mad at me. I know you're in here. I know people love the trimmer, but I have experience with True Cut, and I frankly like True Cuts. If I were going to buy if that were my budget, out of those 3, the True Cut would be the one I would lean more towards. You're not going to be able to get a new one anyway, not a new Greensmaster or a new John Deere for that. Like those mowers are like 5-digit mowers or 5-figure mowers if you buy them brand new. And I wouldn't buy one brand new. They're built like tanks. So really, if you buy one that hasn't been abused, there's people that buy these mowers that are 10 years old and they still run great. So just something to keep in mind, Vashon. with $2,000 budget, if you can stretch that a little bit more, you could get a brand new True Cut for $2,300 to $2,500 thereabouts. But and if you're looking to go used, then you could get a fairly nice greens mower for that same price. But again, the hill, like the terrain has to fit. Like if you got a lawn that's a lot more steep than mine, and it's, you know, where it's just really wouldn't be safe to use a rear drum mower on that, then obviously that's not going to work. But a True Cut will work on most terrain. So even if you have a hilly lawn, it does a pretty good job even on hilly lawns as well. So something to think about, and you know, hopefully that helps. I haven't seen your lawn, but I just want to give you a picture of, you know, that's why I sent you that video for you to see how mine looks, to give you an example of what, you know, what you should be looking for as far as a real mower on a sloped lawn. Good stuff. Good stuff. Great stuff. All right. And then next up is Jesus Prado. He says, at Josh Condor, do you have issues with flooding? Looks like mold at the bottom, or do you have a weird dead spots? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jesus. So looking at the pictures, to me, it looks like, we can bring it back up here while we talk about it. The pictures, it looks like, I mean, it looks really wet, you know, like almost like some root rot going on, or like a thatch problem, but it looks like a lot of moisture, a lot of water sitting in that area. So that's why I asked him, is water pooling there or what? That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. It also looks kind of thatchy. Like there's a lot of dead material in there as well. So not sure exactly, Josh, but if you can send again a broader picture, that would be helpful to see how this area that it's in the picture compares to the areas of the lawn that do not look like that. All right, guys, we are winding down. We are getting close, man. That's already 10 o'clock. Time flies when you're having fun, right? All right. So next up is Jesus. He's chiming in again. He says, if you have a weird dead spot and you pull it up, it'll pull up a stolon on the dead spot. The roots, if the roots look dead and thin, I would think it's Pythium. It could be. It could be Pythium blight. Jesus, it very well could be Pythium. But yeah, it'd be nice if you sent a broader picture, you know, and just to see how that area, like the area where the problem is, like what it looked like where, like the contours of, and it looks like if water could be settling in that area, that will help diagnose it a bit better. Okay, Vashon says, source for a used True Cut. Facebook Marketplace is a wasteland. Yeah, Craigslist, assuming that's still around. I haven't been on Craigslist in a while, but Craigslist, OfferUp. Here's the thing. If you go to Facebook, get in some of the Facebook groups, like the Real Mowing Facebook groups. In there, that's where you can possibly find a pre-owned real mower that's in good shape. So, you know, if you just go to the general Facebook Marketplace, yes, you can find a mower here and there, but a lot of times those are people that just want to get rid of stuff and they're not necessarily a lawn enthusiast, right? If you can, you want to buy a pre-owned mower from someone like me, like someone that had one and that's really into their lawn and is like, hey, I got too many mowers, I got to get rid of one, or had this mower and I'm going to upgrade to a different mower, that's why I'm selling it. You want to get a mower that the person was really using and they were, you know, that they cared for. Like, so that's why I say buying from an enthusiast or someone that's also into their lawn is going to increase your chances of getting a quality pre-owned unit versus just going and just buying a mower that's, you know, someone just stuck on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace because they're tired of looking at it that's hanging out in their yard for like 2 years, right? So you have to keep looking. You can find one because those mowers go up for sale all the time. Just keep being persistent and you're definitely going to find one, because lots of people buy these mowers. They think they really want to do it. They get into it and they find it's too much work and then they move on. Or you have some people that just have way too many real mowers like Dwayne, and, you know, eventually he decides to get rid of 1 or 3 and you're able to get a really good deal on one. Josh is giving us some more context here where he says the stunting is almost the full front yard and some of the back. I did try some verticutting in a few test spots earlier in the year with no success. That spot is on a sloped area, no standing water. Man. Yeah, if you can, Josh, send a picture of the entire lawn area if you don't mind. If you don't want to show your house, your mailbox, anything like that, that's fine. But send a picture of like the lawns where you can actually see it. Yeah, send it to me if you can. Email it to me, ron@golfcourselawn.com. Probably not now because I'm sure it's nighttime where you are, but do that and we'll look through. I'll look at it and let you know what I think. And I'll also, if you're fine with it, I'll show it on the live stream next week, and we can get some other people like Jesus or some of the other guys and gals to chime in and give their thoughts on what they think it might be too. So we will get to the bottom of it. There's definitely an answer for why you're having the problem. One question is, have you done a soil test on the lawn as yet? Just out of curiosity. So it sounds like you said you've been fertilizing, you've been feeding it. Have you used one of these on it? Like, soil test is one of the best things you can do for diagnosing soil issues. Like literally, that's why it's called a soil test. I would consider this, if you've not done one as yet, that's the next thing I would say. If you figure a soil test kit is like $30 if you have a probe. If you don't have a probe, you can get a probe and this for like 50. I think it's in the mid 50s. I'll show you. So if you go to the golf course lawn store and then go to shop and then soil test kits. Yeah, so the one you're going to get if you don't have a probe is this guy. So the starter pack, so you get the tool for pulling the cores and one soil test kit. Do that as if you don't mind, because that is going to tell us if you got like a pH issue or there's something else weird going on. Because if you're feeding it and there's no standing water and it's over the entire lawn, that leads me to think that it's not it's definitely not debris under the soil, because it wouldn't be the entire lawn then, right? So yeah, the next thing I'm going to say is let's take a look at what's going on in the dirt. Let's take a look. Get a soil test kit, order one up, get it, send it out. Within a week, you're going to get your results. And then we'll have all the information to be able to really get to the bottom of what's going on. It can get better. There's a reason why it looks like that. We can figure out what it is and we can fix it. But it would be good to do that by having all the data. And a soil test kit is a good way to be able to get that data. So if you don't mind, grab one at the golf course lawn store. And within a week, you're going to have your results, and then we'll be able to get you, get you all squared away as far as knowing what's going on. Yeah. So Jorge, Jesus sent me a picture of some Pythium. Yeah, that looks. It could be. Josh. So here's a picture. I can actually bring this one up. So Jesus sent me a picture of some Pythium that he had in his lawn. I had this last year. I was watering the lawn, like I did an experiment where I watered the lawn every day, the front lawn every single day, and it caused a problem. It caused me to get to get Pythium in on at least the lower areas the water would settle. And Jesus sent a picture of some Pythium blight. Here, check this out. Does it look like this? Because it could be. If so, it could be Pythium. If it is Pythium, then really the fungicide that's better for actually targeting Pythium is one called Subdue. It's called Subdue. So if it looks like, does it look like that? If you look at that, granted, you're not here live where you can actually hear what I'm saying, but if that's what it looks like, that is how my lawn looked from like watering it every day when I was doing an experiment, and it caused this kind of a problem. So if you're watering it a lot, stop. That's thing one. And then if you can use a fungicide like Subdue, that will specifically target Pythium. Now, both azoxystrobin and propiconazole are labeled for suppressing, meaning that they will stop it from getting any worse. But to actually target Pythium directly, you're going to want to use something like Subdue. Subdue Max is what you're going to want to go with. So, but if it looks like that very well could be a mild case of Pythium in your lawn. So send us some more pictures, man. Get a soil test done, and we will see if we can get to the bottom of it. You said here, I did a soil test at the start of the year. Phos was low, but I've been correcting that all year. Send off another one now to see where I'm at. I will send pictures and more details. Cool, man. Yeah, send us the pictures, and we will get to the bottom of it. We'll see if we can investigate and figure out what is going on. Well, guys, gals, we have come to the end of the questions. There's nothing else really going on. So, guys, thank you guys so much for sticking around. I will take the thumbnail from the other live stream that didn't work and put it on this one, and also transfer the show notes over to this one. So you guys should see that here in a little bit. I really, really appreciate you guys sticking around with me, even though we had the technical issues. Again, I'm not sure what happened, but I'm glad you guys stuck around anyway. Really do appreciate that. And if you're not like me, where you're going to get rained out all weekend, get out and get some, do something fun in the lawn. Get out there and mow and do some good stuff. And then, mefenoxam. Yeah, Jesus says, yeah, it's good for Pythium. And I think that's I think that's the active ingredient that's in Subdue, isn't it, Jesus? I think mefenoxam is what's in Subdue. I think. Let me look here. I think so. I can look here. We're at the end of the show. I can look real quick. Yep, that's what's in it. Yeah, so mefenoxam, that's the name of the active ingredient, but that is the name of the active ingredient that's in Subdue Max. So yeah, mefenoxam is the fungicide. I thought so, but it's expensive. So there's that. So bring your wallet. Just make sure there's that going on. All right, Gary Kelly Jr. says, going back to the friendly neighborhood competition, I am the initiator. I wait till he mows before I come out a day later, and it's all about the stripes. All right, well, cool, man. Well, guys, gals, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out in the live stream. If you guys have not hit the like button, please do so. If you guys are looking for ways to support the channel, if you're looking for ways to get your pre-emergents, we have all of them in stock, or the ones that we really like, on the Golf Course Lawn Store. Your post-emergent herbicides are there as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. I will see you next weekend. Take care.